Just yesterday, Cheeky was a little girl locked in a fierce battle with her final exams. How did she inexplicably fall into the historical fantasy novel she was reading and become the ill-fated seventh princess? A character who dies before the end of the first episode? What is this filthy thing? Drag her out and behead her. How dare you claim to be my child when you're this ugly? Cheeky fought back her tears. She couldn't cry. In the original story, her mother had offended the favored third princess. When the timid seventh princess tried to beg for mercy, she burst into tears, infuriating the tyrant and getting herself beheaded on the spot. There was only one way out of this: shamelessly weaponize her cuteness to survive. Father Emperor, Cheeky isn't ugly. Cheeky will try her best to grow up to be as handsome as you are. The tyrant looked disgusted and kicked the grimy little girl away. But Cheeky shamelessly scrambled right back and hugged his leg. After this happened a few times, the tyrant picked her up by the scruff of her neck. "I've never in my life seen a child so ugly and so shameless," he said, before dropping her back on the floor without a hint of pity. "What will we do if you're still this ugly when you grow up? Father Daddy is so handsome. Cheeky comes from good stock, so she'll definitely be just as handsome as Father Daddy." Father Daddy! A flicker of something unreadable crossed the tyrant's eyes. He had many children, but not a single one dared to call him Daddy. "You ugly child, you're not afraid of me at all. Interesting." Cheeky batted her big, sparkling eyes, keeping the cute act going. "Father Daddy is handsome." "I'd like to see what kind of person an ugly child like you grows into," the tyrant said with a sudden cold smile. "Fine, we'll keep you and see." Seeing the tyrant smile, Cheeky figured she had survived. But just as she relaxed, a chilling frostiness appeared in his upturned lips. "But if you grow up ugly, I'll throw you to the wolves on the back mountain." The tyrant was as savage as the dozen wolves he kept on that mountain. He called them his pets, but they were really man-eaters. Hearing his threat, Cheeky's little heart pounded. She was not going to be wolf food. Although she'd escaped beheading for now, her living quarters were more dilapidated than the cold palace. Tears of self-pity welled in her eyes. This was just miserable. Just then, a faint meow caught her attention. She crept closer and gasped. It was an adorable, fluffy cat, but its back leg looked injured. "No wonder you were crying over here," Cheeky whispered. She gently bandaged the leg and stroked its head. "Big white cat, I wish I could adopt you. But I'm too poor to even feed myself." The big cat, who she nicknamed Bai, seemed to understand. It turned and trotted towards a corner of the wall. Cheeky followed and saw a small hole. Filled with curiosity, she wiggled her little butt and crawled through. She couldn't believe it. On the other side of the wall was a completely different world. It was gorgeous. Cheeky's eyes lit up. She immediately spotted a pavilion in the distance with a table full of delicious food. The little girl's short legs pumped as she dashed over. The heavens were smiling on her. She had a reason to live again. Suddenly, a cool breeze swept by, sending a shiver down her spine. The tyrant was napping on a soft couch in the pavilion. "Tyrant!" Cheeky gasped. She had stumbled into the tyrant's personal courtyard. Her first instinct was to run for her life, but her stomach betrayed her. Gritting her teeth, she tiptoed closer. "Father Daddy?" the little girl whispered, testing the waters. When the tyrant didn't stir, she relaxed, and finally reached a greedy little hand toward the chicken leg she'd been eyeing. She was happily munching away when a voice from outside announced the arrival of Consort Jen. Cheeky jumped. "Oh no, someone's here! The tyrant is going to wake up." In a panic, she spotted the space under the table, grabbed a few pineapple cakes, and scurried underneath. The next second, the tyrant's eyes opened. "Come in!" Cheeky held her breath, too scared to make a sound. "Your Majesty, I've missed you so much." Consort Jen's syrupy voice made Cheeky flinch. The movement dislodged a pineapple cake from her sleeve, and it rolled out, stopping right next to the tyrant's jade-slippered foot. The little girl's face went pale. Mustering her courage, she reached out a tiny hand, fumbling blindly, until thankfully she snatched the cake back just before the tyrant noticed. "I've recently learned a new dance, and I came to perform it just for you, Your Majesty." A wicked smile played on the tyrant's lips. "How thoughtful of you, my dear. Go on, dance, but you can't stop until I say so." Consort Jen was completely mesmerized by him, but Cheeky's scalp tingled. That was not a good smile. This consort was in for it. The consort began to dance, her heart soaring. She kept shooting flirtatious glances at the Emperor, then pretended to trip and stumbled towards him. But before she could land in his arms, the tyrant grabbed her by the neck and threw her to the ground. "Guards, drag her away!" The eunuchs at the door rushed in, grabbed Consort Jen by the hair, and dragged her out. The little girl watched in horror. This tyrant was inhuman. Cheeky trembled in her hiding spot, wondering why he wasn't leaving. The dance was over. The woman was gone. What was he waiting for? Suddenly, there were two sharp taps on the table above her. A low male voice followed. "How much longer are you going to hide under there? Do you want me to drag you out myself?" The little girl's face crumpled. It was over. Her short life was about to end again. Everyone has to die sometime, she thought grimly. As she prepared to crawl out, she heard a soft meow, followed by the tyrant's voice. You naughty thing! I had to call you several times before you'd come out. Tiki let out a huge sigh of relief. He was talking to Bai. So Bai was his cat? She didn't remember when the tyrant left. Hiding under the table, she'd gotten too sleepy and had drifted off. When she woke up, she was lying on the tyrant's soft couch. Did I sleepwalk, she wondered? At least he was gone. Time to get out of here! She scurried on her short legs toward the hole in the wall. Just as she was about to duck through, she felt a tug from behind. She turned to see Bai. Were you waiting for me? Tiki was surprised. Let's go back together. One kid and one cat squeezed back through the hole. What Tiki didn't know was that the tyrant was watching them from a distance. That ugly child is actually quite amusing. The moment Bai was on the other side, its fur stood on end. Tiki followed its gaze and saw several young men and women in her own pavilion. Are they the ones who hurt Bai? She wondered aloud. The next moment, she was lifted into the air by the back of her collar. A young eunuch grinned. Well, well, princess, look what I found. The third princess, Ye Yunchang, glared at Tiki. So you're the one who saved this little beast? Seeing Bai also being held up, Tiki panicked and, with tears in her eyes, started biting wildly. Don't you dare hurt Bai! The eunuch yelped in pain and threw the little girl to the ground. Your Highness, look at what this wretched little thing did. The third princess's eyes were cold. Guards, tie her up! Then she nudged Tiki's chin with the tip of her shoe. The wolves father keeps on the back mountain haven't had a special treat in a while. A short time later, on the back mountain, a girl and a cat lay weakly on the ground. While the third princess watched the show with amusement, Tiki cried out, but the little cat didn't move. In the distance, a wolf howled. Tiki watched as they slowly approached. Was she really going to die like this? It wasn't fair. The foul stench of decay and the sound of animal panting made her curl up in fear, covering her head. She braced herself to be torn apart, but after a long moment, nothing happened. She peeked through one eye and saw a pair of small black cloth shoes. Before she could look up, the tyrant suddenly sat down and lifted her chin. Father, Daddy! Tiki mumbled in disbelief. The next second, she burst into tears. The others, seeing the emperor, finally reacted, all dropping to their knees in terror. The tyrant swept a cold, murderous gaze over them, then swiftly shot an arrow that struck the alpha wolf. The third princess froze. She couldn't believe the tyrant would kill the wolf she had raised for years just to save that ugly child. Then, the tyrant lifted the barely conscious little girl into his arms. Tiki's small hand clenched into a fist. Father, Daddy, my cat, save Bai. Something struck the man's heart. Even in this state, she was still thinking about an animal. Just then, head eunuch Zhao arrived with the imperial guards. He breathed a sigh of relief seeing the emperor was unharmed. He'd nearly had a heart attack. One moment, the tyrant was listening to music in a high tower. The next, he'd seen something, grabbed a bow and arrow, and jumped out the window. It was a drop of over 40 feet. Zhao had never been so terrified in his life. He had rushed his men through the gates, and was now even more stunned to see the little girl in the tyrant's arms. Isn't that the seventh princess? The tyrant's eyes were cold. Summon the imperial physician, and bring that animal on the ground with us. Zhao's jaw dropped for the third time. My God! The seventh princess is raising a tiger! Seeing the tyrant carrying the filthy Tiki, the third princess felt a pang of jealousy and hurried after them. She was about to speak, but was silenced by the tyrant's icy glare. Have I been spoiling you too much? Guards, take all of them and execute them. His words sent a wave of panic through the group, and they all began begging for their lives. The third princess was stunned. She never imagined her father would look at her with such coldness and kill her servants, all for an ugly child. And wasn't he a neat freak? How could he be holding that dirty thing in his arms? How could this be happening? The trembling Zhao, after his third shock of the day, was shocked yet again. The tyrant placed the grimy little girl onto the royal dragon bed. Not even his consorts had ever been allowed to stay the night there. A long time later, Tiki groggily woke up. She was about to touch her aching head, when a deep voice stopped her. Don't touch it. Tiki was instantly wide awake. That voice couldn't be. She slowly turned her head and saw the tyrant sitting in a chair not far from the bed. She vaguely recalled him saving her. Could this be his bedchamber? Her clothes had been changed, and even her hair smelled fresh and clean. Had the tyrant shown mercy? The tyrant watched the silent little girl and frowned. Feeling the chill in the air, Tiki immediately looked up and chirped in her sweetest voice, Father, Daddy. At that moment, Zhao looked at the little girl on the bed and his heart melted. Who knew she'd be so adorable and fluffy once she was cleaned up? Just then, a maid brought in a bowl of medicinal soup. Zhao was about to take it to feed the cute little princess when the tyrant held out a hand. Give it to me. This was officially old Zhao's day of 1,000 shocks. His Majesty was going to personally feed the seventh princess her medicine. Cheeky watched in awe as the tyrant approached with the bowl. Even without saying a word, the man radiated an intimidating pressure. The tyrant brought the spoon to her lips, and she leaned forward, still a bit scared. Your Majesty, Zhao quickly interjected. The soup was just brewed. It needs to be cooled a bit before she can drink it. The tyrant instinctively frowned. Is raising a child this much trouble? He grumbled internally, but still lowered his head and blew on the spoonful of soup a few times. Once it was cooler, he offered it to Cheeky again. The next second, the bitter taste made the little girl's eyes roll back in her head. Zhao immediately brought over a plate of sweet dates. Seventh princess, have something sweet to chase it down. Cheeky could have knelt and thanked him. What a good man. She started munching away happily. But as she ate, she felt an unsettling gaze. Why was the tyrant staring at her? After a moment of hesitation, the little girl picked up a date and offered it to him. Father, Daddy, have a date. Beside them, Zhao wanted to remind the little girl that His Majesty never ate sweets. But the next second, he was proven spectacularly wrong. The tyrant actually took the date and ate it. Dates are sweet, Father, Daddy can have them all. The tyrant watched her smile, her eyes crinkling, and felt a pang in the softest part of his heart. He had many children, but he felt nothing for them. Even the third princess, who everyone thought was his favorite, was only given that status because she was the empress's daughter. But when this ugly child was in danger, his heart had seized. That connection, the one of blood, was something he'd never felt before. The tyrant looked at the little girl. Now that she was clean, she was much easier on the eyes. He remembered her words about coming from good stock. His thoughts were interrupted when he noticed how many dates she'd eaten. He snatched the plate from her. Too many sweets are bad for your teeth. The ever-resourceful Zhao spoke up. Your Majesty, perhaps the seventh princess is hungry. Then serve the meal. A line of maids brought in dish after dish of exquisite food. Cheeky's eyes sparkled. It was true what they said. Hug the right thigh and you'll never go hungry. Time to eat. Cheeky had just thrown back the covers to hop off the bed when the tyrant picked her up. He couldn't help but think, why is this child so light? Doesn't the household staff feed her? He frowned, but the little girl in his arms saw his expression and flinched. Why was this tyrant so moody? But when she saw the dazzling array of food on the table, she forgot everything else. Her stomach let out an embarrassing grumble. The man looked down at her. Hungry? The child nodded frantically. Tummy is hungry! The tyrant gently ruffled the little kid's hair. Cheeky looked up into his deep eyes and was captivated. The tyrant really was just as the book described. The most handsome man in the northern lands. Putting aside his murderous, tyrannical nature, having a dad this handsome wasn't so bad. As long as he didn't chop her head off, of course. Once at the table, the little girl sat primly in her chair, not daring to move despite the feast before her. Scary? The tyrant asked, noticing her tension. Cheeky immediately shook her head, but he could see she wasn't being truthful. He picked up a piece of fish, carefully removed the bones, and placed it in her bowl. Are you not going to eat? Right away, the little girl responded nervously. Behind them, Zhao was speechless. Why was His Majesty being so attentive to the seventh princess? Not long ago, he was ordering her to be dragged out and beheaded. As Cheeky ate, she suddenly remembered Bai. She looked up at the tyrant, her face full of worry. Father, Daddy, Bai. Don't worry, seventh princess, Zhao reassured her. Bai is fine. But Zhao still couldn't understand why the princess would keep a tiger cub of all things. Cheeky, of course, had no idea. She still thought Bai was just a big fluffy cat. The tyrant watched the ugly child's every move and found her more and more pleasing to the eye. After they had eaten their fill, the father and daughter relaxed, and the little girl let out a contented burp. This was the best meal she'd had since arriving in this world. But she'd probably be sent back to her rundown courtyard soon. She sighed. The road to securing her position was long and arduous. Just then, Zhao approached with a tray. Your Majesty, it is time to choose a consort for the evening. The tyrant glanced at the name tablets on the tray without much interest. Cheeky's eyes landed on them. Although the man in the book was cruel, he wasn't given to lust. His intelligence, decisiveness, and aloof aura were what had earned him a massive fan base among readers. As the little pipsqueak was thinking, her mind wandered back to food. She grabbed a small pastry and began to nibble on it. The tyrant, however, pushed the tray of tablets toward her. The little girl, her cheeks puffed out, blinked her big, sparkling eyes in confusion. You choose one. Her eyes widened in disbelief. You want me to choose? Ugly child, you help me pick one. Hearing this, Cheeky nearly choked on her pastry. Was this tyrant for real? He didn't know who he wanted to sleep with? She hesitated, looking at the tablets. Well, Father, Daddy, who do you like the most? Her answer surprised the tyrant. He hadn't expected the ugly child to ask for his preference. He pinched her soft cheek. Little pipsqueak, Do you even know what these tablets are for? Cheeky's mouth twitched. She had almost forgotten her cover as a 5.5-year-old. How would she know what this meant? Stay calm, don't panic. The next moment, Cheeky tilted her head, feigning innocence. Isn't it for finding someone to sleep with? My mother used to hold one of these and say she wanted to sleep with Father Daddy. So you're saying I should choose your mother's tablet tonight? The man's eyes turned cold as he thought, so young and already trying to win favor for her mother? But Cheeky immediately shook her head. No, you can't. My mother got hurt recently. She can't kiss and hug and sleep with Father Daddy. With that, she went back to devouring her pastry. Nearby, Zhao suppressed a laugh. This little girl knew quite a lot. The tyrant's expression softened. It seemed he'd been too suspicious. The ugly child was still simple and innocent. He waved a hand. Take them away. I won't be choosing anyone tonight. Zhao sighed internally. The ladies of the harem will be crying a river tonight. Before long, Cheeky started to feel sleepy, her eyelids getting heavy. Seeing this, the tyrant gently picked her up and walked toward the bed. Is the tyrant going to let me sleep here tonight, Cheeky thought? But she remembered the book saying he was a major germaphobe. Even his consorts were only allowed to sleep with him in the side chambers. Cheeky was so nervous she could barely breathe. Oh no, the tyrant was getting into bed too. She could feel his cold aura enveloping her. What if he woke up in the middle of the night, decided he didn't like her, and just hit her? She instinctively began to inch away toward the corner of the bed. The tyrant, noticing the ugly child moving farther and farther away from him, looked extremely displeased. Am I a ghost? Why is she so far away? Every other woman in the palace practically threw herself at him, yet this ugly child dared to show her disgust. He turned and grabbed her by the collar, pulling her back. It's not like I'm going to eat you or... He trailed off when he realized the ugly child was already fast asleep. The man subconsciously smoothed the little kid's hair, his anger softening. He looked at the little kid's features, so similar to his own, and a hint of affection he didn't even notice himself crept into his eyes. The next morning, Zhao came as usual to help the tyrant dress. But when he entered the inner chamber, he was startled to find the tyrant already sitting in a chair, his face dark and gloomy. Zhao asked cautiously, Your Majesty, why are you up so early today? The man didn't say a word, radiating a menacing, stay-away vibe. Your Majesty, did you not sleep well last night? The tyrant suddenly stood up, his dark gaze fixed on the little kid sleeping soundly on the bed. Zhao glanced at the little girl, thinking, did she make a fuss during the night? No, that can't be right. She's 5.5, she doesn't drink milk at night. The more the tyrant thought about it, the angrier he got. Who would have thought this little kid would snore, grind her teeth, and even fart in her sleep? If it weren't for the fact that she was his own flesh and blood, he would have been tempted to strangle her. He pointed at the bed. You, go wake her up for me. Now, but the 7th princess is sleeping so soundly. The tyrant shot him a sharp look, and Zhao immediately shut his mouth. He went to the bed and gently shook the little girl. 7th princess, wake up. Your daddy wants you to get up and go potty. Being woken up so abruptly, the little girl whimpered and rubbed her eyes, reluctantly sitting up in a daze. Zhao's heart melted at the sight. The next second, the little girl reached her arms out toward the tyrant. Father Daddy, hug! Seeing the man's still dark face, Zhao quickly offered his own arms. 7th princess, how about this old servant gives you a hug? But the little girl pouted, her expression full of grievance, and turned her head away. The man, who had been unmoved, suddenly took a few steps forward and scooped up the red-eyed little kid. The little girl immediately started wailing and pointed at Zhao. Bad man! Bad man! Zhao quickly tried to explain. 7th princess, this old servant is innocent. It was... Before he could finish, the tyrant shot him a death glare, then gently comforted the little girl. Don't cry, don't cry. But now Zhao was the one who wanted to cry. This was the greatest injustice of his life. Once Cheeky was comforted, she lifted her head and called out, Father Daddy! Then, with a little moi, she planted a good morning kiss on the man's cheek. The sudden kiss made the tyrant freeze. He looked at the little kid in disbelief. This little thing dared to kiss me? Nearby, Zhao was completely stunned. His Majesty has so many children, but has any of them ever been so bold? She actually dared to kiss him. Heavens, is she going to get swatted to death? Cheeky said in her sweet, milky voice. Cheeky likes Daddy. Mommy said if you like someone, you should kiss them. Does Daddy like Cheeky? Looking at the little kid's expectant face, the tyrant asked himself the same question. Do I like this daughter? But when the tyrant didn't answer for a long time, Cheeky seemed to have her answer. She slowly let go of him, feeling that she shouldn't have asked. He was the cruel and ruthless tyrant from the book. She must have gotten carried away. What if she angered him? But for some reason, Cheeky felt a pang of sadness. She had grown up without a father. She only knew he was a police officer who had died in the line of duty. so she had never experienced the fatherly love others took for granted. But the tyrant's actions last night had given her a small taste of it. But in the end, it was just her own wishful thinking. "It's okay, Father Daddy. You should go to court. Cheeky will be good." The tyrant saw the little kid forcing a smile despite her unhappiness, and his heart inexplicably softened. But the next second, he clenched his fists. As the ruler of a nation, weakness is the ultimate taboo. I cannot have one. He glanced coldly at the little kid, then turned and left without a second look. Zhao saw the tears welling in the little girl's eyes and wanted to comfort her, but he couldn't exactly call the emperor a jerk. He could only instruct the maids to take good care of her and then hurried after the tyrant. After being dressed by the maids, Cheeky was transformed. The adorable little doll had instantly won over 2 more fans. Cheeky poked her own cheek in the mirror. She had to admit the tyrant's genes were top-notch. The food was good, the clothes were beautiful, but Cheeky sighed. She'd probably be sent back to that broken-down courtyard soon. The next moment, a little "a-woo" sound reached her ears. She turned and saw her beloved cat Bai. The two of them ran toward each other. "Hey, I missed you so much!" Cheeky happily hugged Bai, but the maids behind her were trembling in fear. The 7th princess is raising a tiger at such a young age? The next second, Cheeky shoved Bai right in front of the maids' faces. "Pretty sisters, don't you think Bai is so cute?" The maids immediately dropped to their knees. "7th princess, spare us." Cheeky was baffled. Why was everyone in the palace afraid of a cat? Bai also looked hurt and snuggled into Cheeky's arms. "Look, you've hurt Bai's feelings. But tigers are ferocious by nature. We are truly afraid." "What? Wait, a tiger?" Cheeky froze. "He is a tiger!" Meanwhile, in the throne room, the tyrant's face was dark. Old Zhao stood behind him, trembling. "Disheng," the man said suddenly, startling Old Zhao. "Your Majesty, what is it?" The man wanted to ask about the little kid, but after hesitating for a long time, he couldn't bring himself to say it. "Never mind. It's nothing." After court was dismissed, the tyrant sat in silence for a full half-hour before heading out. The 3rd princess was already waiting for him at the door. When she saw him, she immediately went up to him. "Father, are you still angry with me? I know I was wrong. I shouldn't have quarreled with 7th sister like that yesterday." Looking at the 3rd princess clutching at him, the tyrant was reminded of how the little kid did the same thing, and his mood softened. "Forget it, just don't do it again." The 3rd princess nodded eagerly. "Then are you free now, father? You promised you would teach me swordsmanship today." "It has been a while since I last guided you," he said, slowly raising his hand. Just as his fingers were about to touch the 3rd princess's hair, he paused. "Nice. When did I pick up this habit of patting heads?" "Father, what's wrong?" "Nothing. Let's go. To the training grounds." Seeing this, Old Zhao cautiously tested the waters. "Your Majesty, what about the 7th princess? Send her back to her own place." The 3rd princess, hearing this, smiled faintly. A daughter of a disgraced consort trying to compete for favor? How delusional. Meanwhile, Old Zhao went back and escorted Cheeky to her courtyard. He had heard from the maids that after the little girl found out Bai was a tiger, he was worried she might be scared, and suggested sending Bai to the menagerie. Cheeky immediately shook her head. "Even though Bai is a tiger, he's very gentle. I'll raise him myself." Soon Cheeky was back at her courtyard. But looking at the once dilapidated place, now completely renovated, she was stunned. She couldn't even believe it was the same place. Old Zhao smiled. "His Majesty specifically ordered the courtyard to be renovated. Does the 7th princess like it?" "I love it. I love it so much." Finally, her suffering was over. No more living in that rundown shack. "Since your highness likes it, please don't forget the big day in 10 days. It's His Majesty's birthday. Your highness mustn't forget to prepare a gift." Cheeky panicked. Oh no, she was broke. What could she possibly give him? For the next few days, Cheeky didn't see the tyrant. It wasn't until his birthday that she got up and went to Wenda Hall. To her surprise, no one else was there yet. She realized that since she'd arrived, she had only met the 3rd princess. In the original story, the tyrant's 3 sons were each more ruthless than the last. She hoped she wouldn't be targeted today. Be invisible, nobody can see me." But the next moment, a strange voice sounded in her ear. "Well now, who is this adorable little dumpling? Don't you have anything to say to your uncle? You ungrateful little thing. Have you forgotten your royal uncle? I used to change your diapers." Hearing this, Cheeky immediately remembered. This was the 9th prince from the original story, Ye Mohan, who never married. He was the kindest person to the original Cheeky and went on a dark, vengeful path after her death. Cheeky snapped back to reality and chirped, "9th royal uncle. Aw, Nanan is such a good girl. 9th uncle wants a hug." The man was surprised by the little girl asking for a hug. He thought she would be distant after not seeing him for over a year. Course uncle will give Nanan a big hug. One doting, one cooing, they looked just like a real father and daughter. Coincidentally, the tyrant arrived at that exact moment, radiating a formidable aura. The first thing he saw was his little kid being held in someone else's arms. Cheeky saw the tyrant's dark gaze fixed on her and immediately burrowed into her ninth uncle's embrace. But the ninth prince wasn't scared at all. Instead, a smile played on his lips. "Your imperial brother, please forgive my disrespect. It's just difficult to bow with something in my arms. Ninth brother, no need for formalities. But since you're having trouble moving with that thing in your arms, you should probably put it down." Cheeky was confused. This didn't seem right. In the early part of the story, they didn't have any issues with each other. The ninth prince put the little girl down, and only then did the tyrant turn and continue inside. The ninth prince turned and comforted the little girl. "Don't be scared, Nanan. Your father is always so cold. After this is over, I'll sneak you out of the palace for some fun, okay?" Hearing this, Cheeky nodded excitedly. "Ninth uncle is the best." "Thank you, ninth uncle. Cheeky likes ninth uncle the most." "Ninth uncle likes Nanan the most, too. I'm going to steal you away from your father one of these days." This made Cheeky even more excited. She cheered silently. "Hurry up and do it, ninth uncle." Pleasing him was so much easier than pleasing the tyrant. As the birthday banquet was about to begin, the ninth prince returned to his seat. But the moment he left, Cheeky felt an icy chill from behind her. She turned and nearly wet her pants. The blue robes, the mole under his eye, the sickly pallor. This had to be the gloomy madman from the book, her sixth brother. Without a second thought, she turned to run. This lunatic hated it when people looked him in the eye. But Cheeky's short legs hadn't gotten her 2 steps before the sixth prince picked her up. "This little girl is quite cute, but not very well behaved. Why did you run when you saw your big brother?" Cheeky had no choice but to humble herself and act cute. "Sixth brother, it hurts." "What did you call me, sixth brother?" Cheeky said, her mind racing. "Oh no, did I get the wrong person?" Just then, the sixth prince let go of her and studied her with deep eyes. This girl used to be too scared to even speak in front of him, and now she dared to call him sixth brother so intimately. "Little pipsqueak, don't call me that again." Cheeky blinked her big eyes at Ye Tingcheng. "Since sixth brother doesn't want me to, I won't." Suddenly, Ye Tingcheng leaned in close to Cheeky. "If you keep staring at me, I'll gouge your eyes out and play with them." Their interaction was noticed by the tyrant, who couldn't help but let out a small laugh. This little kid was such a coward. The tyrant's laugh sent a wave of excitement through the officials below. "It seems His Majesty is in a good mood today." One of them immediately spoke up. "Your Majesty, past emperors have always had 3,000 beauties in their harems. Your harem is currently quite empty. Perhaps we could choose an auspicious day to select some new ladies to fill the palace." Yes, this year is an auspicious year. A good omen, exactly." The other officials chimed in. The tyrant, annoyed, slammed his cup on the table. "Do you all think I'm some kind of animal? One more word and you'll all be dragged out and given 100 lashes." The officials were instantly so scared they didn't dare to breathe. Cheeky, hearing the tyrant's outburst, peeked over at him, only to meet his gaze. She instinctively ducked her head. The tyrant clicked his tongue. "Am I a ghost? Why is this little kid so scared of one look?" The third princess, noticing the tyrant's attention on Cheeky, stood up. "Father, today is your birthday. I have specially chosen a gift for you." She opened an exquisite wooden box, revealing a golden dragon-patterned sword. "A fine sword," the ministers praised. "A truly fine sword." The tyrant glanced at the sword, his expression neutral. "Chenger, you are thoughtful." But the third princess wasn't happy. She felt the tyrant didn't like it at all. He hadn't even touched the sword or offered a single word of genuine praise. Yet he kept looking at that little brat who did nothing but eat. It was all because of her that father was different now. She turned her attention to Cheeky. "I hear seventh sister has also prepared a gift for father. Why don't you show it to us?" Cheeky shot up from her seat. "No, you can't look at it now." But with her short arms and legs, she was no match for the third princess. "Why can't I look? I insist on seeing it now." No, give it back." "What? Is seventh sister's gift not fit to be seen?" the third princess sneered. She figured Cheeky, a poor girl with no allowance, couldn't possibly have anything valuable. This was her chance to humiliate her in front of their father and all the ministers. The third princess's eyes were full of triumph. Cheeky clenched her little fists in anger. "I said you can't look. Only Father Daddy can see it." Just as the third princess was about to open the box, a large hand pressed down on it. "Your sister already told you not to touch it. Did you not hear her?" The third princess looked into the tyrant's eyes and felt a chill. "Your daughter—" Before she could finish, the man silenced her with a gesture. He then looked at the little kid. "Can I see it?" Cheeky whispered nervously. "Yes." Hearing the little kid's mosquito-like voice, the tyrant crooked his finger. "Come here and speak." Cheeky scurried over to the tyrant. The man looked down at the little kid who was practically climbing onto his lap and thought, "How is she so... When will she ever grow up?" Cheeky tugged on the man's sleeve. Father Daddy, can you be the only one to look, please? She blinked her big eyes, pleading with him. But the man didn't fall for it. His focus was solely on the gift. The next second, he opened the box. Cheeky sighed. Bribing this old guy is not easy. When the tyrant opened the box, he saw a painting. Cheeky nodded shyly. She was broke and couldn't afford anything expensive. Luckily, her drawing skills from her past life were decent. She was about to ask the tyrant to look at it later, but he was too fast and unrolled the scroll in an instant. The man looked at it, then asked the little kid in disbelief, "You painted this?" Cheeky nodded sincerely. "Cheeky is very poor, so I can only give this to Father Daddy. Please don't dislike it." Just as the little kid was feeling anxious, a large hand landed on her head. "Cheeky's painting is very good. Father likes it very much. My Cheeky has such talent, why should it be hidden? Desheng, pass this painting around for the ministers to appreciate. I never knew the 7th princess had such artistic talent at such a young age. And look at the resemblance. She's the spitting image of His Majesty." The ministers were true professionals when it came to flattery. "Oh, there are words on the painting," one of them said. "May your fortune be as vast as the eastern sea, and your life as long as the southern mountains." What a wonderful poem. I didn't realize the 7th princess could read. As he spoke, he quickly wrote a character on a piece of paper. "May I ask the 7th princess, what character is this?" Cheeky pointed at the 6th prince and said, "Ting, it's my 6th brother's Ting." The 6th prince suddenly called out, looked over at Cheeky, surprised that the little kid could actually read. The minister wrote another character. "Does the 7th princess recognize this one?" This time, Cheeky hesitated. It was a capital offense to say the emperor's name in the throne room. This old man was setting a trap for her. Cheeky hemmed and hawed, unsure of what to do. Just then, the tyrant reached for the little kid. "Cheeky is still young. She doesn't need to know every character. Father will teach you in the future." The old minister felt dizzy. Doesn't His Majesty have a thing about cleanliness? He's never even held the 3rd princess. And now he's holding the 7th princess in front of everyone. It seemed he would have to find another way to help the 3rd princess. He then suggested to the emperor, since the 7th princess is so gifted, perhaps she should start attending the Imperial Academy. "I will do my best to teach her." The tyrant asked the little kid in a gentle tone, "Cheeky, do you want to go to the Imperial Academy?" Cheeky feigned confusion. "What's that?" "It's where a group of people study together and learn many things. The 3rd princess and 6th prince are there, and the 1st prince sometimes teaches a class." "Oh, great! 3 of the 5 big bads are at the academy." Cheeky immediately started crying. Cheeky doesn't like it. Cheeky doesn't want to study. The old minister wanted to say more, but the tyrant shot him a harsh glare, then turned back to the little kid with a doting expression. "Cheeky, be good. We won't go." The tyrant's blatant double standard made the 6th prince, sitting nearby, smirk. How interesting. After the banquet ended, a heavy snow began to fall. Cheeky watched the snowflakes and asked her personal maid, "Sister Awan, that old minister Chin Taifu, is he close with any of the princes or princesses?" "I only know that Chin Taifu teaches at the Imperial Academy, and the 3rd princess's mother often asks him about the princess's studies." Cheeky pondered this in the carriage. The 3rd princess's mother? Chin Taifu? Is there a connection between the harem and the court? Suddenly, the carriage lurched violently. Cheeky heard Awan's voice, "Greetings, 6th prince!" The next second, the carriage curtain was lifted by a pale hand, and the madman, her 6th brother, appeared. "7th sister, could you give me a ride?" Cheeky managed a goofy, silly, smiling nod. The 6th prince studied her. She seemed young and timid, but anyone who could survive in the harem was not simple. Cheeky felt a bit awkward, so she took out a handkerchief. "6th brother, wipe the blood." The 6th prince didn't take the handkerchief. Instead, he said playfully, "Call me something else. And don't put your hand down." Cheeky rolled her eyes internally. What is wrong with this guy? I can't call him this, I can't call him that. Should I just call him Old 6? She decided to just wipe the blood for him herself, smiling like an innocent fool. "Brother, my arm is getting tired." The 6th prince's expression changed instantly. "What did you just call me?" Cheeky was scared by his look. This madman was even more unpredictable than the tyrant. The 6th prince felt like he was going crazy. Why did Cheeky remind him so much of someone from his past? But how was that possible? She was just a 5-year-old kid. Seeing the 6th prince suddenly curl up, Cheeky thought he was cold and offered him her hand warmer. "Brother, have you called anyone else brother before?" Cheeky shook her head. "No." She thought, "So far I've only met you. Who else would I call brother?" "Then you are not to call anyone else brother in the future. Also, you have talent. The Imperial Academy will not waste it." This 6th prince was always so calculating. What was his plan in sending her to the academy? Besides, brother wants to study with you. What does Chiki think? Chiki said reluctantly, but I don't like to study. Chiki must be obedient. Only obedient children are loved. Under his threats and promises, Chiki had no choice but to agree. Chiki, are you very afraid of me? The little kid subconsciously nodded. The sixth prince's face darkened instantly. Chiki quickly shook her head vigorously. Not afraid at all. That's better. The sixth prince pinched the little kid's cheek. You're so chubby. Chiki felt wronged but didn't dare to argue. Then I'll go on a diet when I get back. No need for that. Chubby is good. More comfortable to pinch. By the way, how about you draw a portrait for me too, Chiki? In the dead of winter, a heavy snow fell. Chiki and Bai were playing in the courtyard. She pumped her short legs. Bai, slow down, wait for me. Heh, your white fur makes you so hard to see in the snow? Awan rushed out after her. Princess, let's go inside, you'll catch a cold. But Chiki playfully ran off, making Awan chase her. But as she looked back, she bumped into something. Chiki looked up. Oh my god, Father Daddy! The little kid's face paled in fear. Are you having fun? Chiki trembled. Not fun. Not fun at all. The tyrant said sternly, Hold out your hands. She thought he was going to hit her palms. Chiki knows she was wrong. Don't break my hands, Chiki is scared. The man knelt and wiped the snow from her hands. What are you thinking about all day? Am I that evil in your eyes? Chiki said with a pout. Well, it's because you wanted to chop off my head at the beginning. The tyrant smirked. Are you bringing up old scores, you little brat? Blaming me? I was just passing by and thought I'd check on you. It's your nap time. I'm leaving. Remember to practice the characters I taught you. Chiki waved her little hand. Goodbye, Father Daddy. As soon as he was gone, she tugged on Awan's sleeve. Sister Awan, Chiki is sleepy. In reality, the little kid had a secret date with her ninth uncle to sneak out of the palace. Before long, the window creaked open. Chiki, her face full of excitement, whispered, Uncle! The ninth prince put a finger to his lips, and Chiki immediately covered her mouth. After changing clothes, Yemohan helped Chiki out the window. Be scared, Nanan. Hold on tight to Uncle. Uncle is so cool, you can fly. After a few short flights, they landed outside the palace walls. Wow, Uncle is the best. Uncle is the best. I can't believe that ice block could have such a cute little daughter. If I ever have a daughter, I'll spoil her so much she won't know a thing about the world. Hearing this, Chiki felt a twinge of sadness. In the original story, the ninth prince never had children and ended up dying a tragic death. Such a good person. If only she could change his fate. Soon they were on a bustling street. Chiki immediately spotted some candied hawthorns. Uncle, Chiki wants candied hawthorns! Nanan, don't call me uncle outside, it'll give us away. Chiki bit her finger, thinking. Then I'll call you maternal uncle. Crack. The ninth prince's heart broke a little. He was hoping to sneakily upgrade his title to daddy, but oh well. Uncle it is. Uncle, candied hawthorns. The next second, her uncle waved a hand, and a guard dropped down from a rooftop and bought out the entire stall. Chiki quickly waved her hands. No, just 2 sticks! Her uncle was confused. Why only 2? If you like them, we should buy them all. 1 for Father Daddy and 1 for Bai is enough. Father Daddy said too many sweets are bad for a kid's teeth. As she spoke, Chiki suddenly saw a familiar figure on the 2nd floor of a nearby building. It looked like her 6th brother. Who was the man in the iron mask standing across from him? Nanan, what are you looking at? Her uncle waved a hand in front of her face. When Chiki looked again, they were gone. Did you see something you like in this restaurant, Nanan? Their spring banquet is famous. Let's go try it. Okay. A moment later, Chiki was cheering at the dining table. Hug the right thigh and you'll never go hungry. But after only a few bites, an urgent matter came up at her uncle's estate, and he had to leave. Nanan, I'll have a guard take you back later, okay? Chiki nodded obediently. Then she frantically dug around in her clothes. Uncle, wait! This letter, I was going to give it to Father Daddy with his birthday gift, but I hadn't practiced a lot of the characters yet, so Nanan is too shy to give it to Father Daddy herself and wants me to deliver it? Don't worry, Nanan, Uncle will complete this mission. This was actually Chiki's insurance policy. If things ever went south in the palace, this letter might just save her life. Just as the 9th prince left, a voice came from behind Chiki. The 6th prince lifted the door curtain and appeared before her. Nanan, what a cute name. He waved a hand at the guards. You all can leave. I will take the 7th sister back to the palace later. Chiki watched as the 6th prince walked closer and closer, her nerves fraying. His thin red lips curved into a dark smile. Why is Chiki so scared? Is brother that scary? Or did Chiki see something she shouldn't have, and that's why she's so afraid? Chiki was backed into a corner against the railing. No, Chiki didn't see anything. Her little face turned pale. This madman wasn't going to silence her by pushing her off the balcony, was he? Terrified, She grabbed onto the corner of his robe, tears welling in her eyes. Brother Cheeky is scared, don't scare me. Then she burst into tears, wailing, Brother is going to push me. Brother is going to kill me. I said I didn't see anything, I don't want to die. The sixth prince, seeing a crowd gathering below, was too embarrassed to continue. He immediately pulled Cheeky back inside. Cheeky's tactic of fighting fire with fire left him at a loss. He looked at the still sobbing little kid. No matter how he looked at her, she was just a 5.5-year-old girl, but for some reason he felt she was not as simple as she seemed. She had clearly seen him, but she played the victim so perfectly that he didn't know how to handle her. You still dare to eat? Aren't you afraid I poisoned the food when you weren't looking? Cheeky looked at the table full of delicious food. Poison? You, old six, would poison this? Then all this food would go to waste. My God, who's the real villain here? You don't care if you die, but you're sad about this table of food. Cheeky calmly tore off another chicken leg, thinking that since all her brothers were vicious, it didn't matter if she died sooner or later. The sixth prince saw the little kid was still eating. You trust me that much not to harm you? Cheeky paused. She was just sad about the food. A strange mix of emotions swirled within the sixth prince. He said impatiently, Little Pipsqueak, stop eating! Without waiting for a response, he picked her up. It's getting late. I'll send you back to the palace. He leapt down from the second floor. My carriage will take you back. Remember, no matter what you saw, don't mention it to anyone when you get back. A short while later, Cheeky skipped back to her courtyard, wondering if the tyrant would like candied hawthorns. But after walking for a while, she didn't see anyone. Sister Awan, where is everyone? Cheeky called out tentatively. Sister Awan, bye? Come in. Cold voice came from inside. Cheeky went in and immediately had a bad feeling. The maids and eunuchs were all kneeling on the floor, trembling. The atmosphere was terrifyingly grim. Where were you? I went out of the palace. The man exploded. Who gave you permission to leave the palace? Cheeky trembled. No one. I went by myself. The tyrant scoffed, looking at the little kid coldly. Who did you go with? Cheeky, afraid of getting her ninth uncle in trouble, gritted her teeth and lied. No one. I went by myself. The tyrant stood up from his chair and walked over to Cheeky. No one? He grabbed the little kid's chin in anger. You've learned to lie to me at such a young age. Do you think the Imperial Guards are idiots? Do you really think I don't know who you left the palace with? He shoved the little kid to the ground. Do you know how dangerous it is outside the palace? You just go with whoever asks you to. Who is your father anyway? Cheeky fell hard, and the beloved candied hawthorns fell out of her clothes. Heartbroken, she quickly picked them up. The tyrant sneered. I thought he might have bought you something nice. Turns out it's just this cheap junk. Cheeky's eyes instantly turned red. It's not! It's my favorite! It's not cheap junk! But the furiously jealous tyrant misinterpreted her favorite as referring to Yemohan, and he completely lost it. Just 2 sticks of junk and he's won you over completely? And it's your favorite? Am I your daddy or is Yemohan? With that, he slammed the candied hawthorns onto the ground. Flat. Cheeky's heart shattered along with them, and tears streamed down her face. You're mean! I hate you! Why won't you listen to me? Why did you smash my things? The tyrant's voice was icy. Good. I never expected you to like me anyway. Guards! Take everyone in the 7th princess's household and give them 20 lashes each. Cheeky panicked. It's not their fault. I'm the one who snuck out. It has nothing to do with them. Please spare them. The tyrant was unmoved by her pleas. He left in a rage, not giving the little kid another glance. Cheeky stared at the smashed candied hawthorns, feeling utterly heartbroken. In Big Meanie, I'm never talking to you again. 3 days later, in the imperial study, old Zhao was fidgeting, looking like he wanted to say something. If you have something to say it. Stop stammering. The 9th prince has been waiting outside for an hour. Does your majesty wish to see him? I already said no, tell him to get lost. Old Zhao turned pale. 9th prince, you heard him. His majesty wants you to go back. Yemohan couldn't help but laugh. He handed a letter to old Zhao. This is what Nanan asked me to deliver. My imperial brother can take a look. Then he deliberately raised his voice. By the way, I remember my imperial brother doesn't like sweets, does he? That little girl specially bought candied hawthorns for him. Did my imperial brother eat them? Old Zhao asked. 9th prince, are you saying the candied hawthorns were for his majesty? Who else? I originally thought my imperial brother was a cold man and their father-daughter relationship was so-so, but it turns out that little girl is quite thoughtful. I tried to get her to call me daddy for fun and she refused. Some people just don't know how good they have it. Inside the study, the tyrant's heart skipped a beat. Old Zhao watched Yemohan leave, not noticing the tyrant had already walked to the door. He turned around and jumped. My God, your majesty, you scared me! The tyrant's eyes were fixed on the letter. Old Zhao quickly presented it with both hands. The man held the letter for a long time before finally deciding to read it. Father Daddy, it's Cheeky. The first time I met you, I was very scared because you wanted to chop off my head. I promised to try my best to grow up pretty and not disappoint you. Even though you're very fierce sometimes, I know you don't really mean it and wouldn't actually kill me. Otherwise, you wouldn't have swooped in to save me when I was in danger. Father Daddy is the greatest daddy in the world, my big hero, and you've given me the fatherly love I never had before. Also, for your birthday, I was really poor and couldn't buy an expensive gift, so I could only draw you a picture. But you didn't mind at all. I was so happy. I have a daddy who loves me. I'm not an unwanted child anymore. Father Daddy, I love candied hawthorns the most, but they don't have them in the palace. Ninth uncle was able to sneak me out to buy some. I really love them, so I really wanted you to try them too. Each word was like a knife in his heart. He finally understood. The little kid's favorite was the candied hawthorns. The man, the tyrant, was overcome with regret. But his sedan chair broke down halfway, and it was sleeting. Old Zhao was frantic, afraid the tyrant would lose his temper, and immediately ordered a new one. But by the time the new chair arrived, the tyrant was gone. Oh, heavens, your majesty, my majesty. Meanwhile, Awan had just put Cheeky to bed and was about to go to sleep herself, when she looked up and saw the tyrant. Oh my god, Awan's soul nearly left her body. Your majesty! The tyrant walked straight past her, pushed open the door, and saw the little girl sleeping soundly on the bed. Bai, sensing him, was about to let out a little "ah-woo," but was silenced by the tyrant's "shh" gesture. He stared at the little kid's face for a long time, finally unable to resist gently touching her cheek. The little kid whimpered in her sleep. The tyrant quickly pulled his hand back, feeling a bit guilty and nervous. What if she woke up? She was probably still angry. Was he really going to have to apologize to this little kid? He decided to just tuck her in and leave. But just then, a clap of thunder rattled the sky outside, and the sleeping Cheeky was jolted awake. Sister Iwan, hold me, Cheeky is scared. The groggy little kid reached out for a hug, but as she fumbled around, she said, Sister Iwan, why is your waist so thick? Sister Iwan, why aren't you saying anything? Cheeky rubbed her eyes and looked up, only to realize it was her tyrant daddy. All her grievances came rushing back. He just smashed my candied hawthorns a few days ago. Is he here to smash something else? The tyrant looked at the pouting little kid. You don't even greet me when you see me now? Cheeky mumbled reluctantly. Father? Then she pulled up her little blanket. Cheeky is going to sleep now. The subtext was, You old fossil, it's time for you to leave. But just as the tyrant took a step, another clap of thunder echoed. Cheeky instinctively grabbed the man's sleeve. Father Daddy? Don't go! It's thundering again. Cheeky is scared. The man turned back and awkwardly patted the little kid's head. There, don't be afraid. Father Daddy, I'm scared of the thunder and I'm scared of you smashing my candied hawthorns. They were a present for you. A wave of deep regret washed over the tyrant. He cast aside his imperial dignity and pulled the little kid into his arms. Cheeky, Daddy was wrong. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have smashed the candied hawthorns you gave me. Can you forgive Daddy? Cheeky was stunned. Was the tyrant apologizing? She pinched her own cheek in disbelief. It hurt a little. It wasn't a dream. Then she pushed at the man's arm. Father Daddy, you're squishing me. The tyrant awkwardly loosened his grip. Well, you should go back to sleep. Daddy will just... Before the man could finish, Cheeky threw her arms around his neck, planted a big mwah on his cheek and beamed. And Cheeky forgives Father Daddy. But the tyrant didn't react. Cheeky's expression immediately changed. Did she make him mad again? But the next second, the tyrant gently touched her forehead, his eyes full of deep affection. Go to sleep. Daddy will stay with you. The morning after the tyrant apologized to the little kid, he sent over countless treasures of gold and silver. The once destitute little kid became the richest child in the palace overnight. Sister Awan, Cheeky is not poor anymore. After the excitement wore off, the little kid thought of her old father. Father Daddy came in the rain last night, right? I wonder if he got sick. With that, she ran outside excitedly. Let's go see Father Daddy! But while some were happy, others were not. News of the tyrant's gifts to Cheeky soon reached the third princess. She angrily smashed her teacup on the floor. That wretched little brat. She must have used some trick to fool Father. I have to teach her a lesson. At that moment, Cheeky was on her way to see the tyrant, unaware of the danger ahead. Seventh sister, what a coincidence. Cheeky looked up and saw the third princess, Ye Yunchang, sitting in a pavilion. As etiquette required, she had no choice but to go and bow. Greetings, imperial sister. It's only been a few days and seventh sister has gotten rounder. It seems sucking up to Father comes with good food and drink. Cheeky watched the third princess advance on her and clenched her fists. She would not be bullied a second time. This was not a good place to stay. Mustering her courage, she said, Third Imperial Sister, Cheeky has something to do, so I'll be leaving now. But the third princess grabbed Cheeky's arm. Leaving? I was kind enough to have you stay, and you dare to disrespect me? With that, she shoved Cheeky hard. You play the pitiful victim in front of father, practically gluing yourself to him, but you can't wait to run away from me. Awan rushed to help Cheeky up. But before she could reach her, she was grabbed by two of the third princess's maids. Awan couldn't help but speak up. Third princess, no matter what, the seventh princess is still His Majesty's child. Aren't you afraid of his anger if you do this? Awan had barely finished speaking when one of the third princess's maids slapped her. When our princess speaks, does a lowly servant like you have the right to interrupt? Seeing Awan get hit, Cheeky finally snapped. And what are you? Nothing but a bully's dog. Who gave you permission to hit Sister Awan? Cheeky threw all her weight into the maid, then stood in front of Awan with her small body, fiercely protective. It was clear that Old Three was looking for a fight today. Instead of enduring it, she might as well fight back and show her she wasn't a helpless pushover. You can't even handle a little girl? All of you, hold her down for me. Instantly, the nearby eunuchs and maids joined in. Unsurprisingly, Cheeky was pinned to the ground. Old Three crouched in front of Cheeky with a mocking smile. Let's see what you can do now. Cheeky couldn't take it anymore and bit down hard on Old Three's arm. The third princess screamed in pain. The eunuch holding Cheeky down was startled and rushed to check on the princess. Freed from her restraints, Cheeky shakily got to her feet. I'll teach you to be arrogant and cruel. Today, I'm going to teach you a lesson on father's behalf. With that, Cheeky lunged at Old Three. Don't you come near me! But Cheeky grabbed her looking fierce, and then headbutted her, hard. It was a move that would hurt her just as much, but the effect was impressive. Let's have a kid fight. The third princess, who had been pampered her whole life, had never felt such pain. She immediately burst into tears. Cheeky felt a bit awkward. She had actually made a kid cry. Oh, so you cry when you can't win? Go wipe your nose and come back when you've had more practice. You brat, what did you say? I'll take you down with me today. What is all this noise? A familiar male voice called out. The tyrant looked at the two grimy little girls, his eyes turning cold. Old Three saw him as her savior. Sir, you have to stand up for me! Cheeky hit me! The tyrant, seeing the dirty child, looked disgusted. Stay away from me, you're filthy! Old Three was so scared she stopped crying, remembering her father's obsession with cleanliness. The man then picked up the little kid. What happened? Just a normal fight. You call this a normal fight when you both look like this? He put the little kid down and pointed at Old Three. You are confined for 1 month. If this happens again, you will go to G Province to reflect. Then he turned to the little kid. You, come with me. Cheeky trotted happily after the tyrant. Left behind, Old Three's eyes filled with tears. Why won't father believe me? Useless fools, get lost. She took out her anger on the maid who tried to help her up. I was wondering who was making such a racket and disturbing my sleep. Turns out it's third sister scolding her maids. Old Three's face paled in fear. Second brother? Meanwhile, on the other side, Cheeky was struggling to keep up with the man on her short legs. Father, Daddy, slow down, wait for Cheeky, I can't keep up. Weren't you quite capable when you were fighting just now? Cheeky won't fight anymore. Just as the little kid finished speaking, the tyrant picked her up. Oh, but Cheeky is dirty. You know you're dirty? Tell me, why were you fighting? Cheeky thought, this tyrant is always suspicious. This is a good chance to drop a hint. She said pitifully, it might be because of what happened on your birthday. Father let me study at the Imperial Academy. Third sister was the only royal daughter allowed before, and now I have that honor too, so of course she's not happy. She has never been good with academics. I wasn't going to let her continue, but Qin praised her highly. Third sister is the Empress's daughter, so of course Qin pays her special attention. The tyrant fell into thought. But with Father Daddy backing me up, third sister wouldn't dare to do anything to me. Oh, so you're getting bold now? No, I'm not. Third sister started it, that's why I hit her. I didn't even cry, but she cried so much her nose was running. How embarrassing. After news of the fight spread, Cheeky became like the palace bully. All the maids and eunuchs were afraid of her, but Cheeky had no idea what had happened. Sister Awan, why do they all run when they see me? Last night, head eunuch Zhao gave all of third princess's servants involved in the fight a beating, saying it was His Majesty's order. So now they're all scared. Although the tyrant was trying to protect her, this made her a target for everyone. Oh well, she'd take it one step at a time. Sister Awan, let's go catch butterflies. Just then, an old minister blocked her path. Seventh princess, what a coincidence. Oh crap, isn't that Qin? Without a second thought, Cheeky grabbed Awan's arm and ran. Qin hurried after her. Seventh princess, why do you run when you see me? Don't you remember me? How could I forget? I just tattled on you yesterday. She feigned ignorance. Mister, I've never seen you before. It's all right if you don't remember. I came today specifically to invite the 7th princess to attend the Imperial Academy. Thank you for your kind offer, old mister, but I don't know you, so goodbye. With that, Cheeky pumped her little legs and scampered away. But to her surprise, the old man, despite his age, was relentless in his pursuit. 7th princess, wait for me. I can give you a puppy as an enrollment gift and candied hawthorns. Cheeky ignored him and hid behind a rockery. This old man was so persistent. As she peeked out, a hand reached out from the side and pulled her in. It was her 6th brother. He covered her mouth. Be quiet. At that moment, his face was pale, and he looked very weak. Soon, Chin Tai-fu also arrived at the rockery, out of breath. I can't believe how fast her short legs can move. The 6th brother hid Cheeky until Chin Tai-fu was gone, then asked, Little girl, why was he chasing you? He wants me to go to the Imperial Academy, but I don't want to get involved in the drama. The academy may look like a school, but it's really a battleground for the powerful. The 6th brother looked at Cheeky in surprise. He didn't expect her to understand these things. It seemed she was not as simple as she appeared. Cough, cough. He suddenly coughed painfully. Brother, are you hurt? It's none of your business, stay out of it. The 6th brother's harsh words made Cheeky pull her hand back. He was right, she shouldn't meddle or speak her mind. But for some reason she felt that he was a lot like her, both with secrets they couldn't share. Cheeky, you should go to the Imperial Academy, the 6th brother said suddenly, his tone serious. You were born into the Imperial family, so you're destined to be part of the fight. If you keep hiding, you'll only end up dead. As for your safety at the academy, you can leave that to me. I'll protect you. For some reason, Cheeky found him surprisingly reliable. At least she would be safe with him. The next morning, the tyrant went to Cheeky's courtyard. Cheeky excitedly ran to greet him. But to her surprise, Chin Tai-fu came running too. Cheeky looked at him with a blank expression. Old mister, why are you here again? Ada! I told you I'd bring you an enrollment gift. What do you think, isn't it cute? I heard the 7th princess likes animals and has a big white cat. This little puppy can keep it company. As soon as Chin Tai-fu said white cat, Bai let out a loud "awoo" and shot in from outside, landing in front of Chin Tai-fu with a magnificent tiger pounce, as if to say, You looking for me? That's a tiger? Chin Tai-fu's eyes rolled back in his head and he fainted. Cheeky was speechless. Well, yeah, Bai has always been a big tiger. Dishing, take Chin Tai-fu to the imperial physician, the tyrant said. Then Cheeky hugged his leg. Father Daddy, Cheeky has decided to go to the Imperial Academy. I don't want to be a foolish princess and bring shame to you. The man smiled. When did my Cheeky learn to say such sweet things? You can go, but first Daddy wants to take you somewhere. A short while later, on a long street outside the palace, Cheeky stepped out of the carriage, her eyes sparkling. Father Daddy, we're out of the palace! Are you happy? The tyrant said, proudly holding out his hand to her. If Cheeky likes it, I can take you out often. You don't have to ask that guy. Hearing this, Cheeky understood. The tyrant was jealous of her 9th uncle. She nodded obediently. Cheeky will remember. Then tell Daddy, what did that Yemohan guy buy for you? Cheeky happily pointed at the candied hawthorns. This, the tyrant said smugly. Deisheng, buy them all. Old Zhao immediately tossed a gold ingot to the stall owner. Then Cheeky saw some sugar paintings and her eyes lit up again. The man waved his hand. All of them! Yay, Daddy, I want to buy out everything! The shops were quickly sold out and closed for the day. The little kid instantly became the coolest kid on the block. Is Daddy good to you? Much better than that guy, right? Daddy is the best to Cheeky. Cheeky wants to be good to Daddy too. She pointed to the restaurant where she had eaten with her 9th uncle. Cheeky will treat Daddy to a full fish banquet. But just then, a carriage slowly pulled up behind them. The tyrant instinctively pulled her behind him. Who is it? Yemohan lifted the curtain. None, uncle. The tyrant's face immediately darkened. Cheeky, on the other hand, ran over excitedly. Uncle! Yemohan smiled slyly at the tyrant. Big brother, what a coincidence. You're here too. The man looked at Yemohan's smug face, clearly displeased. Not a coincidence at all. He then possessively ruffled the little kid's hair. Yemohan ignored him and looked at the giant stick of candied hawthorns. Big brother, are you planning to open a shop? I'm buying them for my daughter. Do you have a problem with that? This daddy is not as stingy with Cheeky as some people. Cheeky nodded helplessly. If these two kept talking, they were going to start a fight. Luckily, the tyrant said he wanted to go eat. Cheeky immediately agreed, but no one asked Yemohan. However, he shamelessly followed them inside anyway. Cheeky looked at her daddy on the left and her uncle on the right, feeling incredibly awkward in the middle. Neither of them was speaking. Suddenly, bang! The tyrant slammed his hand on the table. What are you following us for? Imperial brother, let's eat together. I'm hungry too. He then put some food in Cheeky's bowl. Our Cheeky, eat up. You're still growing, you can't go hungry. Who's our? The Tyrant, not to be outdone, put an even bigger piece of meat in Cheeky's bowl. Yay! Cheeky cheered silently. She could finally eat. But the next second, the real battle began. They went back and forth, and in just 47 seconds, the food in Cheeky's bowl had piled up into a small mountain. Father, Daddy, Uncle, Cheeky really can't eat this much. But for the first time, the two brothers said in perfect unison, "You must." Half a month later, it was Cheeky's first day at the Imperial Academy. The little girl was yawning, her hair in little braids, as a wand dazedly slung a small school bag over her shoulder. "Princess, this way." Chin Taifu was afraid you wouldn't know the way, so he asked a prince to guide you. Cheeky was still wondering which big bad would be picking her up when she turned a corner and ran right into him. Her sixth brother was leaning against a wall, looking so clean and harmless in the sunlight. If it weren't for the palace struggles, he would have been a bright and cheerful young man. Cheeky quickly rummaged through her school bag, wanting to capture this beautiful moment forever. A moment later, she was admiring her work. But the next second, the drawing was snatched from her hands. The sixth brother smiled. "No wonder Chin Taifu chased you all over. Our Cheeky is indeed very talented. I'll keep this." He then tucked the drawing into his robes. "You meanie! Stealing from a kid! I'm going to tell Father Daddy to beat you up." "Speaking of beating me up, I heard you got into a fight with Ye Yunchang a while ago." "I'm a kid. It's normal for kids to fight, right? Besides, she started it, so I—" "And after the fight, you subtly hinted to Father about the private dealings between Ye Yunchang's mother and Chin Taifu. Was that also your intention, you little pipsqueak?" Cheeky panicked. How did he know? Although he didn't have any concrete evidence, she felt like he had her completely figured out. "You clever little thing, you think you're so smart? But in this deep palace, there are countless eyes watching. Otherwise, how do you think the fourth and fifth princes died? If you encounter a similar situation again, would you do the same thing?" Cheeky clenched her fists, and after a moment of hesitation, she seemed to muster all her courage. "I want to live." "Well said. You've got guts, little girl. We're already in a quagmire. Who can escape untainted? No one who survives in this palace is simple. Hurting others to protect yourself is not a sin, but next time be more discreet. Don't let anyone find out." Cheeky then realized that her sixth brother wasn't being malicious. He was teaching her how to survive. Perhaps in this treacherous palace, it wasn't so bad to have someone she could trust. With that, she trotted after him on her short legs. Besides the princes, this place also accepts the children of meritorious officials. But there are also those who rely on their parents' achievements and are just here to fool around. You need to stick close to me. As soon as he finished speaking, Cheeky bumped her head. The son of the Minister of Rights, Hijing, said unhappily, "Whose kid is running around? Don't you know how to apologize when you bump into someone?" Cheeky quickly apologized. "I'm sorry, I'm here to study." Her words were met with laughter. "This little doll isn't even as tall as my waist, and she says she's here to study? Even nobles and royalty have to fight to get into this place." Cheeky was speechless. Who was this brainless rich kid? "Hey!" Hijing poked Cheeky. "You're a cute little thing. Call me Big Brother." The next second, the back of Cheeky's collar was grabbed, and she was lifted into her sixth brother's arms. "You want her to call you brother? You think you're worthy?" Hijing, seeing it was the madman's sixth prince, quickly bowed and apologized. "I was blind. I didn't know this little doll was with you. Please forgive my rudeness." "Get lost!" Hijing scrambled away. Then the sixth brother placed Cheeky in the seat next to him. "You sit here and don't move." Before long, Chin Taifu began his lecture. The class was so boring, he wondered if the little kid could even understand. He glanced over and saw Cheeky drooling in her sleep, occasionally hugging him and mumbling, "Brother, brother." This little girl was so clingy in her sleep. What was he going to do with her? But she was also kind of cute. Beside him, Chin Taifu was getting more and more passionate, hearing his increasingly loud voice. The sixth brother was afraid he would wake up his little darling. He turned and snapped. Chin Taifu was dumbfounded. "Quiet? You want me to be quiet during class?" An unknown amount of time later, Cheeky woke up. She mumbled to herself, "How did I fall asleep? I've never seen anyone sleep so soundly in class before." Hearing the sixth brother's voice, Cheeky was startled. Why couldn't she shake this habit of sleeping in class, even after transmigrating? And she had drooled all over the desk. "Sixth brother, I didn't mean to. I was just so sleepy, I just closed my eyes for a second." "You sure know how to take a nap." "You napped right through to the end of class." Cheeky looked around in surprise. The room was indeed empty. If it weren't for the Empress's procession returning to the palace today and the roads being temporarily closed, I wouldn't have cared about a little pig like you. Hearing this, Cheeky hung her head. The Empress Rong was the third princess's mother. After being apart for so long, she must have missed her very much. "Of course. I heard Empress Rong went to see Ye Yunchang as soon as she returned." "What, are you scared?" How could she not be? With her mother's backing, Ye Yunchang would definitely tattle on her. The next few days won't be easy for you. Be careful. Cheeky sighed. I know. Meanwhile, on the other side, the third princess was indeed complaining to Empress Wrong. Mother, you have no idea how much I've suffered. I was bullied. Empress Wrong's eyes filled with pity. Who would be so bold as to bully you? It was that little brat Yachiki, born of that consort in the cold palace. I don't know what kind of tricks she used to win father's favor, but she even secretly learned how to paint. And because she's favored, she dared to hit me. But father wouldn't listen to me and even punished me with a month of confinement. How dare she? She hit you? This is unacceptable. My poor baby, you've suffered. Mother will make it right for you. On the other side, Cheeky sneezed loudly. Sixth brother, I think someone is talking bad about me. As soon as she finished speaking, a laugh came from behind them. A man in white with a folding fan and fox-like eyes. Cheeky's pupils contracted and she tensed up. This is the second prince, Yahello. It's over. In the original story, this guy loved to collect people's eyeballs. Cheeky hid behind her sixth brother in fear. I was lucky enough to witness seventh sister's heroic performance when she fought with third sister. Why are you so timid today? Cheeky was already scared and now she was just stunned. I get into one fight and the whole world knows about it? I must say, seventh sister's eyes are very bright. The sixth brother immediately stepped in front of Cheeky. You praise her too much, Imperial brother. Cheeky is still young. She can't tell beauty from ugliness. I didn't expect our reclusive sixth brother to be playing with this little dumpling. It seems third sister was right. She is an interesting child. Cheeky's sense of dread grew. This third princess was really trying to get her killed. Yahello knelt, smiling. Cheeky, come give your imperial brother a hug. His voice was so gentle, but to Cheeky it was terrifying. He was praising her looks and wanted a hug. He was definitely after her eyeballs. The second prince held out his arms for a full 27 seconds, but Cheeky didn't move an inch. He was starting to get annoyed. What? Are you afraid I'll sell you off to the countryside? Seeing Yahello's displeasure, Cheeky had no choice but to take a heavy step forward with her short legs. But the next second, she was pulled back by her sixth brother. Please forgive her, second imperial brother. She's shy around strangers. The second prince chuckled. It's just a hug. It's not like she'll lose a piece of flesh. But second brother, men and women should not touch so freely. This made both Cheeky and the second prince awkward. The sixth brother's logic was a bit strange. The second prince retorted, are you not a man? Hey, I'm still young and pure, it's okay for children to hold hands. I never thought our reclusive sixth brother would play the hero saving the damsel in distress. You praise me too much, imperial brother. Very well. The second prince turned and waved. I'd like to see how long you can protect her. Watching Yahello's retreating back, Cheeky asked sincerely, is second brother the type to hold a grudge? Of course, then what should I do? The sixth brother didn't answer immediately. Instead, he took the small school bag from Cheeky and slung it over his own shoulder. Avoid him if you can. If you can't, fight back. Fight back? Just the two of us? Don't worry. I will protect Cheeky. That day after class, Cheeky planned to go see the Tyrant to curry some favor. She couldn't let the thigh she'd worked so hard to hug get away. But as she reached the Imperial study, she heard the Tyrant's furious roars from inside. She was about to sneak away to avoid his wrath, when a teacup suddenly shattered on the ground. Cheeky screamed in fright. Hearing someone outside, the Tyrant bellowed, Who is out there? Get in here! Cheeky poked her head in sheepishly. Hey, Father Daddy. Instantly, the Tyrant's anger vanished. He softened his voice. Cheeky, what are you doing here? A dozen ministers were kneeling in the study, and the floor was littered with broken porcelain. Cheeky's face paled. She really shouldn't have come. Father Daddy, Cheeky brought you something to eat. Seeing the little pipsqueak had nowhere to step, the Tyrant immediately held up a hand. Don't move! He walked over to Cheeky and picked her up. Then he turned to the ministers and snapped, What are you all staring at? Clean this up. The ministers scrambled to their feet, their movements practiced and swift. Soon the room was spotless. After the ministers had left, the Tyrant asked gently, Cheeky, what did you bring for Daddy? It's your favorite pineapple cakes. But I just learned how to make them, so please don't mind if they're not perfect. The Tyrant smiled, picked one up, and was about to take a bite when old Zhao quickly spoke up. Your Majesty, allow this servant to... No need. The Tyrant cut him off and took a bite. Cheeky watched him with anticipation. It's delicious. My Cheeky is so talented. Really? Really? Cheeky rolled up her sleeves, eager to try one herself. But just then, the man noticed small cuts on her hand. How did you hurt your hand? Cheeky pulled her hand back. I just slipped while cutting the pineapple. The Tyrant immediately became furious. Are the servants in your palace tired of living? They let you handle a knife. Guards, Take all of the 7th princess's servants and give them 20 lashes. Daddy, no. It has nothing to do with them. I wanted to make something for you with my own hands. You're a wise ruler. You can't punish the innocent. Hearing this, the tyrant was slightly taken aback. Who had taught the little pipsqueak to say such things? But since you've spoken up, we'll let it go this time. But you are not to handle knives yourself again. Cheeky quickly nodded, relieved. She had only meant for it to be a small act to gain sympathy, but she had almost gotten others in trouble. Then, the man asked about her schoolwork. How are your studies at the Imperial Academy? Cheeky's heart pounded. They're going great. So what has the Grand Tutor taught you? Cheeky's smile froze. What did he teach? I'd like to know too. She started spouting nonsense. We learned the 3-character classic and I can even recite it. Father, Daddy, aren't I so smart? She then planted a kiss on his cheek, trying to use her cuteness to cover her embarrassment. The man couldn't help but laugh. If you can't keep up with the classes at the academy, Daddy can give you private lessons. But don't lie next time, understand? The Imperial Academy doesn't teach basics like the 3-character classic. They focus on poetry and essays. It's normal for you not to understand. Cheeky felt like she'd just been insulted. Just then, the man took a brush from the brush holder and handed it to her. Cheeky's big eyes were full of questions. My hand is too small, this brush is too big. I know you can't use it. He then leaned down and whispered in her ear. It wasn't until evening that Cheeky left the Imperial study. But as she stepped out, a sharp voice called out, "What are you doing here?" Cheeky looked up and saw a lavishly dressed woman, and next to her was Ye Yuncheng, who was glaring at Cheeky as if she wanted to eat her. What are you hiding? Did you steal something? Cheeky quickly hid her hands in the box behind her back, then secretly stuffed the brush into the food box. Old 3 noticed Cheeky's furtive movements and immediately tried to grab her arm. After a struggle, the food box was knocked over and the brush rolled out. Aha, ya Cheeky! You've got some nerve, you dare to steal Father's brush! Just then the tyrant, hearing the commotion, came out. Old 3 immediately pointed at the brush and tattled, Father, look, she stole your things. She then looked at Cheeky smugly. You little brat, just wait until Father has you beaten to death. Didn't I confine you for a month? Who let you out? At that moment, Empress Rong spoke up. It was I who released Chang'er from her confinement. She has already learned her lesson. The man sneered. Since when can the Empress defy my orders? Old 3, seeing the tense atmosphere, immediately hugged his leg. Father, it was Chang'er who wanted to see you. I know I was wrong. The man pushed her away. You know you're wrong? You haven't learned anything over the years except how to bully the weak. You're becoming less and less likable as you grow up. Besides, I gave that brush to Cheeky. How did it become stolen when it came out of your mouth? Hearing this, Old 3 was in disbelief. You gave it to her? She was so hurt she felt like crying. Why? She had asked the tyrant for that brush so many times and never gotten it. But with the tyrant present, she could only grit her teeth and walk over to Cheeky. 7th sister, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have accused you. Hearing this, Cheeky was stunned. The arrogant 3rd princess was actually apologizing? But then she realized Old 3 must have some ulterior motive. So she played along, turning to the tyrant and saying sweetly, Father, Daddy, don't be angry with Imperial Sister. She already knows she was wrong. Old 3 continued, Imperial Sister is very generous. It's getting late, let me take you back to your palace. Besides, my mother hasn't seen Father in a long time. We should give them some space. But once they were in the carriage, Old 3 showed her true colors. Cheeky, can I ask you a question? She pinched her cheek. What kind of tricks did you use to bewitch Father? Why did he just give you that brush? Cheeky's cheek hurt. Imperial Sister, you can have the brush, just please don't pinch me. Who do you think you are? I don't want anything from you. With that, she threw the brush out of the carriage. Cheeky shouted in panic, Stop the carriage! Old 3 laughed triumphantly. Does it hurt? Come on, bite me! I suggest you get out of the carriage and pick it up right now. You dare to order me around? I'm just giving you a suggestion. After all, this brush wasn't for me. What do you mean it wasn't for you? Cheeky ignored her and got out of the carriage to search for the brush. But Old 3 kept pestering her from behind. Father entrusted this brush to me to give to you. He wanted us to get along. He said he didn't give it to you before because you were too young, but now you're old enough to use it. Old 3's mind was buzzing. For her? She couldn't believe what Cheeky was saying. Cheeky could see it now. Old 3 wasn't really a bad person, just a spoiled little princess. She remembered what the tyrant had told her. He said that Old 3 was so spoiled largely because of him, because he wasn't a good father. But after meeting Cheeky, he wanted to learn to be one. The next day, Cheeky woke up early and went to her 6th brother's Changhua palace. Guard, I'm here to see my 6th brother. 7th princess, please come in. The 6th prince has instructed that you may enter freely. Cheeky entered the courtyard. She had come to see her sixth brother today to discuss how to deal with the Empress, the main villain. But the farther she walked, the creepier it got. There wasn't a living soul in sight. Suddenly, she heard urgent footsteps approaching. Cheeky turned and saw a tall man in a black robe behind her. It was the same masked man she had seen outside the palace with her sixth brother. "Who let you in?" The masked man leaned down, and the air was thick with the smell of blood. Cheeky felt a chill run down her spine. In the original story, the sixth prince, the Tyrant, and the second prince were all killed by the male lead. Could this masked man be the male lead's spy in the palace? Was he going to silence her now? She's just a little kid. Why are you scaring her? The sixth prince walked over to Cheeky, a gentle smile on his face. "You may leave." "Yes, master." The masked man bowed respectfully. Cheeky watched the masked man's retreating back, her heart still pounding. But according to the timeline, the male lead, Yan Cheng, hadn't appeared yet. Since she had transmigrated, could she do something to change the fate of the Tyrant and the others? If Yan Cheng never appeared, would they be able to live? "What, are you scared stiff, still holding on so tight?" The sixth brother's low voice rumbled in the little pipsqueak's ear. "Heh heh heh." Cheeky snapped back to reality, rubbing her hands together awkwardly. The sixth brother sat down on the corridor. "So, why did you come looking for me so early?" "Yesterday, I asked Father about that rich kid at the Imperial Academy. He's the second son of the Vice Minister of Rights." "You mean the Ministry of Rights is not part of the Empress's faction?" "You're very smart. The Ministry of Rights has no real power, but it has money. If the Empress really wanted to win them over, all three of the Vice Minister's sons would be in the Imperial Academy, not just the shallow and arrogant second son. Sixth brother is also very smart. If you could become the crown prince in the future, maybe—" The sixth brother immediately cut her off. "Who taught you to say such things?" Cheeky quickly covered her mouth. "I misspoke." Before she could finish, the strap of her small school bag suddenly snapped, and a booklet fell out. The sixth brother picked it up. "What's this?" Cheeky reached for it, but it was too late. The sixth brother had already opened it. Cheeky thought, "It's over. My masterpiece is about to be exposed." The first page showed her whipping her sixth brother's waist. The second showed her kicking the Tyrant's leg with her short legs. The third showed Cheeky punching Old Three's face with her little fists. After looking at it, the sixth brother smiled wickedly. "You little thing, your drawings are certainly unique. This was an accident, would you believe me?" "Oh, sixth brother, you're a big man, you can forgive a little kid." As Cheeky was trying to charm him, a maid brought a plate of pastries. Cheeky's eyes lit up. "These look so delicious." But the sixth brother stopped her. "It's time for class. Don't eat, you should go now." Cheeky had no choice but to leave by herself. Just then, the sixth brother's face darkened. "What was in the pastries? Why did you drug her?" "Just some sleeping powder. The seventh princess is too smart. I was afraid she would be a threat to you, Your Highness." "Have you forgotten your place? If you dare to harm her again, you can go to the water prison yourself." Meanwhile, Cheeky had already skipped to the Imperial Academy. As soon as she sat down, she heard a commotion behind her. "Oh my god!" He-Jing slid face first to Cheeky's side, followed by a pair of familiar feet. He-Jing immediately begged for mercy. "Third princess, spare me. I didn't mean to step on your foot. Let me wipe it for you." Old Three kicked out with a sharp leg. "Who wants you to wipe it for me? You're filthy!" As she was about to kick him again, she suddenly saw Cheeky. She stiffly lowered her leg and awkwardly sent He-Jing away. "That's it? Last time someone annoyed the third princess, wasn't he stripped naked and hung from a tree for 3 days? Looks like the great devil third princess is in a good mood today. No show for us." Old Three huffed arrogantly, turned her head, and walked away. After things quieted down, Cheeky thought of her sixth brother. He has such long legs. Why isn't he here yet? Just then, a voice came from behind her. "Little princess, are you waiting for the sixth prince?" Cheeky turned and saw the bruised and swollen He-Jing. "Yes, your sixth brother won't be coming today." "Why not? Because it's the 15th. He never comes on the 15th of the month." Cheeky was even more confused. The original story never mentioned this. "Do you know why he doesn't come?" "Why else?" "He's sick," the third princess suddenly interjected. She then glared at He-Jing and kicked out with a high leg. "Get lost!" And she forcibly took his seat. Cheeky was stunned. "What are you looking at? If you keep looking, I'll gouge your eyes out." Cheeky grumbled and turned away. Isn't gouging out eyes the second prince's thing? You're not very old, but you've learned a lot. Soon it was time for class. As soon as Chin Tai Fu arrived, he started quizzing them on yesterday's homework. "Seventh princess. Here, what is the next line after as pure as the snow on the mountains?" Cheeky was in trouble. She was a bad student in her past life. Otherwise, she wouldn't have been reading a novel and ended up in a book. Just as she was squirming in her seat, a A soft voice from behind her whispered, "As bright as the moon between the clouds." Cheeky heard it and tentatively repeated the answer. Shintaifu stroked his beard in satisfaction. "Excellent, excellent. The seventh princess is indeed very intelligent." Cheeky was so embarrassed she could have died. "Thank you, old Shin. Now please shut up." She turned to old 3 and whispered, "Third sister, thank you for helping me just now." After school, Cheeky was so tired she couldn't even stand up straight. School is so tiring for a kid. Just then, someone rushed towards her, not only hugging her but also crying out, "Mikey, I missed you so much!" Cheeky was baffled. Mommy? Could this be the original owner's mother, the one who was sent to the cold palace? The woman's tearful declaration of how much she missed her seemed like a touching reunion between a mother and child. But Cheeky remembered from the original story that this consort Wrong wasn't very good to her daughter. How did she get out of the cold palace? She would have to be careful and figure out if this person was a friend or foe. Wah! Outside the courtyard, old Zhao was crying his eyes out. The seventh princess is finally reunited with her mother. Your Majesty, this is so moving. Why aren't you crying? Shut up! After entering, Cheeky started looking for Bai. He usually waited for her at the door. Awan stammered. Well, consort Wrong ordered Bai to be locked up. Cheeky, my dear, let's get rid of that big tiger. From now on, Mommy can live here with you and tell you stories every day. Cheeky looked at consort Wrong's kind and gentle expression, which was just like a loving mother. But didn't the book say she was cold and distant, even to her own daughter? Just then, the tyrant walked in. Cheeky immediately ran over to him like he was her savior. If he had been any later, her home would have been stolen from under her. Father, Daddy! Cheeky, did you miss Daddy during class today? I did. I missed you so much. The man smiled slyly. So you're saying you weren't paying attention in class? Cheeky rolled her eyes. The tyrant was using sneaky tricks. Oh well, just this once, the man planted a kiss on the little pipsqueak's cheek. Consort Wrong was shocked by the scene of fatherly affection. This girl is so favored? It seemed the rumors were true. As she was secretly rejoicing, the tyrant's cold gaze fell on her. What are you doing here? Who gave you permission to leave the cold palace? Guards, take Consort Wrong back. Your Majesty. Cheeky used to live with me in the cold palace. We've never been apart. I can't live without my daughter. Cheeky's head was spinning. What was going on? Did this Consort Wrong really love her child? Had she remembered wrong? But the tyrant was as cold as ever. Are you saying you gave birth to this child all by yourself, and I have nothing to do with it? You raised my child in the cold palace, letting her become thin and covered in scars, and I haven't even settled the score with you. If it weren't for the fact that you are the seventh princess's birth mother, do you think you would still be alive? Guards, drag her out and throw her back in the cold palace to fend for herself. Consort Wrong cried out hysterically. I am willing to be punished, but please, Your Majesty, don't separate me from my daughter. Cheeky, seeing the miserable Consort Wrong, felt a pang of sadness, perhaps because of the original owner's feelings. She said sweetly, Father Daddy, Cheeky wants to get down. Maybe she should judge people for herself, not just based on what the original story said. She wiped Consort Wrong's tears. Cheeky can ask Father Daddy to let Mommy stay here, but Mommy can't lock up Bai, and you can't order Sister Awan around. Father Daddy, can Mommy stay? The man pinched Cheeky's cheek affectionately. You little pipsqueak. You've completely overruled me with just a few words. Hehehe, it's because Cheeky knows Daddy loves me that I dare to be so bold. Then we'll do as you say. Daddy is the best. Daddy is the best daddy. Hearing this, Consort Wrong immediately bowed her head in thanks. When no one was looking, a strange smile appeared on her face. Later, Cheeky settled Consort Wrong in a side room. When she came out, she saw the tyrant standing at the door. She wondered if he was upset that she had taken in Consort Wrong. Cheeky walked over and said in a small voice, Daddy, are you unhappy? The tyrant, trying to hide his feelings, replied, No. Then can I have a hug? No. The tyrant turned his head away stubbornly. If that's how you want to be, then don't blame me. Cheeky rolled up her sleeves, took a running start, and jumped up to hug the man's arm. I'm falling, Daddy, help me. The tyrant finally gave in and pulled her up. I've met thousands of people in my life, but you little pipsqueak, are the boldest. Is Daddy still mad at Cheeky? Yes. What are you going to do to cheer me up? The little pipsqueak immediately hugged the tyrant's face and gave him a flurry of kisses. The tyrant, not to be outdone, pressed his cheek against Cheeky's and then pretended to be angry. You're such a spoiled little brat. It's late, you should be in bed. A short while later, the tyrant had tucked Cheeky in. Just then, old Zhao cautiously entered. Your Majesty, we've found out. He then whispered something in the tyrant's ear. The tyrant scoffed. So she does have ulterior motives. Your Majesty, should I go? Wait, she is her birth mother after all. Keep a close watch on her. Report any movements immediately. If she dares to do anything to harm Cheeky, then she won't be breathing for much longer. The next morning, Cheeky was woken up by a scream. She opened her eyes and saw Consort Wrong on the floor, looking at Bai in terror. "You beast, seize it! Who let this beast out? Take it away and give it 40 lashes!" In her panic, she grabbed a nearby teacup and was about to throw it at Bai when Cheeky walked over.
"Cheeky, my dear, how did this beast get out? What if it bites Mommy?"
"It seems you don't remember what I said yesterday, Consort." "Yesterday was yesterday. I've moved in now, so I should be managing this palace. Get this beast out of here." Seeing her completely different attitude from yesterday, Cheeky's expression darkened, and she stared straight at Consort Wrong. "He is not a beast. He has a name." Her cold, deliberate words sent a strange chill through Consort Wrong. She even thought that Cheeky's gaze was somewhat similar to the Tyrant's. Was it her imagination? After falling into the water, this girl had become timid and foolish. How could she be like this today? "My lady, do you think the princess remembers?" "No. How could a child remember things from when she was so young?" "I think this little brat is just getting bold because His Majesty spoils her. Now she doesn't even respect me. But I have to thank her for being favored. It gives me a chance. Is everything ready?" Hearing this, the maid took out a small bottle. Consort Wrong smiled sinisterly. "Now, all we need is the right moment." Remembering this, Cheeky threw her arms around Old Three. "Imperial sister, I was wrong before. I'm so sorry." Old Three was shocked by Cheeky's sudden hug. She froze, not knowing where to put her hands, and muttered stubbornly, "Well, do you think a simple apology will make me forgive you?" Cheeky fell into the water and was unconscious for a long time. When I woke up, I had lost a lot of my memories. I just remembered now. I didn't mean to forget you, Imperial sister. Hearing fell into the water. Old Three frowned and instinctively looked at the woman on the ground. Did she do it? "Guards, lock this venomous woman in the woodshed and await my orders." Hearing this, Consort Wrong immediately started crying for sympathy. "Cheeky, Mommy loves you the most. Please save me. I carried you for 10 months, you only have one mother." As Consort Wrong was wailing, Cheeky tugged on Old Three's sleeve. "You're not going to plead for her, are you? She almost killed you." "No, I'm not. I was blind before, but now I understand your intentions, Imperial sister, and I feel very guilty." "You? Don't be so dramatic. I don't have any intentions towards you. I'm going back to my palace." "My head hurts so much, Imperial sister." The stubborn Old Three instinctively turned and caught Cheeky. "After such a scare, you're still standing in the wind. Of course your head hurts. Serves you right." Fine, I'll take you inside." Meanwhile, in the woodshed, "My lady, it was my fault. I've implicated you." "It's not your fault. It's all because of that little brat." "Since she's so heartless to me?" Thinking about how that little brat had just watched her being dragged away, Consort Wrong seethed with anger. "I should have thrown her into the frozen lake and let her drown." As soon as she finished speaking, the woodshed door was kicked open. Consort Wrong looked up and saw the Tyrant. He smiled coldly. "I wonder who my dear consort is so eager to drown." "Your Majesty, I've been wronged. It was the third princess. She's arrogant and cruel, that's why I spoke out of anger." Before she could finish, the Tyrant slapped her. "Do you really think I'm a fool?" He then took out a small porcelain bottle and threw it in front of Consort Wrong. The woman panicked. Wasn't that the aphrodisiac she had asked Zhuer to prepare? How did His Majesty have it? She immediately gave Zhuer a look, and Zhuer quickly took the blame. "Your Majesty, I dropped that by accident when I was bitten by the white tiger. It's not my lady's." The man sneered, "You're very loyal." He then advanced on Consort Wrong. "I was going to spare your life since you are Cheeky's birth mother. But unfortunately, I hate liars. Let's drag her away and feed her to my lovely wolves." Meanwhile, the two little girls were sleeping together that night. After dealing with Consort Wrong, the Tyrant came to Cheeky's bedside under the cover of darkness. The little pipsqueak groggily woke up and saw the Tyrant. She instinctively rubbed her eyes. "Father Daddy, what are you doing here? It's nothing. I just wanted to see Cheeky." He then planted a light kiss on her forehead and looked at Old Three in the bed with confusion. Cheeky was scared today, so she asked Imperial Sister to sleep with her. The man was surprised. When did these two little girls get so close? Weren't they just fighting before? He ruffled the little pipsqueak's hair. "It's late, Cheeky. Go back to sleep. Your mother was not comfortable here, so Daddy sent her where she belongs. Don't worry." "Good night, Father Daddy." "Good night, Cheeky." The man then reached out and patted Old Three's head. "Good night, Yunchang." After the Tyrant left, pretending to be asleep, Old Three slowly opened her eyes and whispered, "Good night, Father." The next morning, the stubborn Old Three was reading in the carriage, muttering, "This won't do. If the Grand Tutor quizzes you again, you won't be able to answer." Cheeky yawned. "With my Imperial sister looking out for me, I'm not worried about quizzes at all." Old Three was very proud. "Of course. If it weren't for me, you would have been caned by the Grand Tutor long ago. After yesterday's events, their misunderstanding was cleared up, and their relationship had quietly changed. Old 3 was becoming more and more like a big sister. Just then, the carriage came to a sudden halt. Old 3 immediately pulled Cheeky into her arms to protect her. After they had stopped, she lifted the curtain and scolded. Why did you stop so suddenly? If you had hurt the 7th princess, I would have... But before she could finish, she saw the first prince, Yejingxuan, walking over with a cat in his arms. The driver quickly knelt and kowtowed. First prince, please spare me. She suddenly ran out. I didn't see her. Shut up! She's hurt. She's in a lot of pain. How are you going to compensate her? The driver's face turned pale. I am willing to cut off my own hands. Please spare my life, First Prince. Inside the carriage, Cheeky asked in a small voice. He would rather cut off his own hands than fall into the First Prince's hands. The whole palace knows that the First Prince treasures his cat more than anything. Anyone who falls into his hands will suffer a fate worse than death. The First Prince Yejingxuan was barely mentioned in the book. It only said that his personality was the most similar to the Tyrant's, and he never showed his emotions. But Cheeky still got out of the carriage. Old 3 quickly grabbed her. Don't go. First brother is different from the other princes. He won't care about father's favor towards you. It's okay. I'll just go check on the little cat. With that, she walked over to Yejingxuan. Ta-da! Cute girl to the rescue! This cat looks like it's just scratched. I'll bandage it up first to stop the bleeding. Yejingxuan said slowly, You know how to bandage a wound? I saved a white tiger once, mistaking it for a cat. I think the principle of stopping bleeding should be the same. After bandaging it, we can take it to the Imperial Hospital and put some herbs on it. Yejingxuan was shocked to see that his white cat, who usually disliked being close to people, was so friendly with this child. Who are you? Greetings, first brother. I am father's biological daughter, Cheeky. I'm on my way to the Imperial Academy, so I'll be leaving now. Cheeky turned to go back to the carriage, but Yejingxuan blocked her way. Go to the Imperial Hospital first. Inside the carriage, Yejingxuan held the white cat and closed his eyes. The two little girls awkwardly whispered to each other, Why did he get in? He said he wants to take our carriage to the Imperial Hospital. He doesn't think we hurt his cat and is planning to get revenge, does he? Revenge? No way. As they were nervously whispering, the white cat suddenly leaped onto Cheeky's lap. Oh my, put it down. That cat is his life. He never lets anyone touch it. It wasn't me. It jumped on its own. Hey, Imperial brother, this cat is really cute. You like it? I do. The white cat seemed to like Cheeky too, licking her hand with its tongue. The next second, Yejingxuan patted his own leg. Nyang, come here. What? Its name is Nyang? What a noble name. All right, stop the carriage. Aren't we going to the Imperial Hospital? No, Nyang is afraid of doctors. This guy changed his mind so quickly. Cheeky was still confused, but old 3 next to her sighed in relief. We were lucky to escape from him this time. We should be grateful. Cheeky sighed. Why are these princes all so strange? I should avoid them in the future. Little girl, why did he get out of your carriage? Cheeky was startled by the sudden voice. She turned and saw Ye Aoshin standing outside the carriage window. Ah, second brother. Why did one leave just for another one to appear? She didn't hesitate to say, Goodbye, second brother, and quickly pulled the curtain shut. Ye Aotian was left standing there, baffled as she yelled to the driver, Go, go, go! A short while later, the two little girls finally arrived safely at the Imperial Academy. They both sighed. Imperial sister, you go in first. I have to use the restroom. Cheeky then went to the backyard by herself. Just then, a hand suddenly grabbed her. Cheeky turned and was pleasantly surprised. Sixth brother! Little pipsqueak, what are you doing here? This is the advanced class. Advanced class? When did you move to the advanced class? 3 days ago. I finished the beginner courses, so I came here. Cheeky was disappointed and mumbled, Why didn't you tell me? Although her voice was as soft as a whisper, the sixth brother still heard her. Why would I tell you? Hearing this, Cheeky felt a pang of sadness. Seeing Cheeky's hurt expression, the sixth brother panicked. Hey, that's not what I meant. It's okay, I'll go back to class now. With that, Cheeky turned to leave. But the sixth brother couldn't bear it and grabbed her. Do you want to stay and listen to one class? But we have a deal, just this once, and no sleeping. Cheeky promises, I definitely won't sleep this time. But the next second, she was blowing bubbles in her dreams. The sixth brother saw that Cheeky showed no signs of waking up and had no choice but to let her sleep through to the second class. He gently shook her. Cheeky groggily rubbed her eyes. Sixth brother, did I fall asleep again? What do you think? Cheeky poked her fingers together shyly. Hey, kids need a lot of sleep to grow. But I promise. Before she could finish, she felt a chill from behind her. The masked man with the smell of blood had appeared in the room. Cheeky felt a strange fear and instinctively grabbed the sixth brother's clothes. The sixth brother smiled. What are you afraid of, Cheeky? It's just a military strategy class. Sure enough, the next second, the man drew a dagger and started demonstrating. Strategies of victory, strategies of opportunity, strategies of attack, strategies of chaos, strategies of combined forces, and strategies of desperation. There are 6 sets of strategies in total. Who can tell me what they mean? The man's cold gaze swept over the room and finally landed on Cheeky. With a flick of his wrist, the dagger pointed at her. Why is there a girl here? The sixth brother immediately stood up and shielded Cheeky. She's just here to observe one class. She won't disturb anyone. Cheeky nodded frantically. I'll be very good. I won't make any noise and I won't sleep. But the man didn't seem to care. Women are valued for their lack of talent and obedience. You shouldn't be listening to a man's class. Even if you do, you won't understand. Hearing a woman's virtue is her lack of talent, Cheeky got angry. And he said she wouldn't understand? Sir, you just asked about the 6 sets of military strategies. The first 3 are used when one has the advantage, and the last 3 are used when one is at a disadvantage. Each set has 6 strategies for a total of 36 strategies. Am I correct, sir? Her words caused an uproar. My God, how does she know that? She looks like she's only 5 or 6, but she knows advanced material? So what? She's probably just read a book on military strategy. I'll ask you another question. What principle did Xiangyang's reforms advocate during the Warring States period? He advocated the principle of punishing violence and forbidding injustice in warfare, and the idea of preserving the enemy and evaluating the generals before deploying troops, which contains a simple dialectical materialist thought. The masked man was shocked. Who are you? Cheeky bowed respectfully. You flatter me, sir. I am the 7th princess, Ye Cheeky. Just then, the 6th brother gave the masked man a look. The man understood and didn't ask any more questions. He turned and said, It seems I have underestimated women. A little doll has such knowledge. We must all work harder. After sitting down, Cheeky was sweating. She was lucky she had paid attention in her middle school history class. Just then, the 6th brother poked her. I've never seen you read a military book. Where did you learn all this? I heard Father Daddy mention it, so I remembered. Really? He talks to you about these things? Yes, but not much. Does 6th brother also think that a woman's beauty is her talent? Of course not. Does Cheeky want to be that kind of woman? No way. If I had to be locked up at home as a golden canary who can't read a single word, I'd rather fight on the battlefield. Besides, women are not anyone's possession. I have people I want to protect and things I know I must do, and I don't want to lose those important people. The 6th brother looked at the innocent face in front of him, speaking words far beyond her years. Could it be that she had a similar past as him? Little Pipsqueak, don't say such things in the future. Do things that are appropriate for your age so you won't attract unwanted attention. I know. Then I'll go back to sleep. Hey, don't sleep. I'm going to the training grounds to practice swordsmanship. If you're tired, you can go back. Cheeky immediately perked up. I want to watch you practice. This was her first time at the training grounds. There was a huge martial arts ring in the center with all kinds of weapons displayed on the side. Cheeky saw a hammer taller than her and was immediately interested. Oh my God, who could even lift that? As she was thinking, a giant of a man behind her effortlessly picked up the hammer. Wow, if she were as big as him, she could take on anyone. She wouldn't have to be afraid of her brothers anymore. Perhaps Cheeky's gaze was too intense because the giant looked over at her. Hello? Hello, hello? No, I mean you're so small. So tiny. Cheeky felt like she'd just been insulted. Just then, the giant reached out and poked her chubby cheek. Do you want this little hammer? Want to play together? Cheeky waved her hands frantically. No, no, your little hammer is not so little. But the giant suddenly became shy. My name is Wang Daju. I'm from class 7-1. You're so cute. Are you new here? Cheeky understood. Class 7-1 must be a special class for talented people. She was about to chat more when the 6th brother pulled her to his side. He glared at the giant who was sweating under his gaze. Is that her brother? You're both so pretty. I'm Wang Daju. Before the giant could finish, the 6th brother pulled Cheeky away. The giant was terrified. How can the sister be so cute and the brother so scary? He's scaring me to death. The little pipsqueak was just too cute. The 9th prince was so jealous he wanted to steal her and hide her away at home. Cheeky was confused. Is 6th brother angry? The next second, the 6th brother turned with a dark expression. There are a lot of the Empress's spies here. Don't talk to strangers. That giant just now looked very cunning. Cheeky was speechless. Really? He seemed like a simple-minded guy. In short, this place is full of all kinds of people. It's always better to be careful. The little pipsqueak was shocked. I know, you're right. Then I'll stick close to you. Looking at the young man's face so close to hers, the little pipsqueak's heart skipped a beat. For some reason, the sixth brother always made her feel safe. Just then, someone pulled her braid from behind. What a coincidence! I ran into the cute Cheeky again. Hearing this, the little pipsqueak thought, oh no, she couldn't be this unlucky, could she? The next second, she was pulled over by the second prince. Cheeky, why did you run away when you saw your imperial brother this morning? I wanted to chat with you. Greetings, second brother. Cheeky was miserable. The second prince looked Cheeky up and down. You've grown a lot, little girl. Kids really do change every day. You're so close to old six, why do you avoid me? Little girl, call me second brother. Cheeky looked at the eyeball-gouging second prince, weighed her options, and was about to speak when an arrow whizzed past, grazing his cheek and leaving a cut. His eyes instantly turned cold. Cheeky turned and saw that the archer was the sixth brother, who was now striking a cool pose. The second prince wiped the blood from his face and said meaningfully, Sixth brother, your archery has improved a lot. You're almost like a different person. Hearing this, the sixth brother's heart skipped a beat. Cheeky also wondered what he meant. So different from before? Could it be that the sixth brother is like me? But in just a few seconds, the sixth brother calmed down and stepped in front of Cheeky. You praise me too much, second brother. It's all thanks to father's teachings. It's getting late, I'll take Cheeky back now. Aren't you going to practice swordsmanship? Hearing this, the sixth brother turned to Yahello and said pointedly, What's more important than Cheeky? Besides, didn't Cheeky just see my swordsmanship? With that, he turned and pulled the little pipsqueak away. The second prince smiled meaningfully. You clever fox, Ye Ting Cheng. Let's see how long you can hide your true colors. The carriage clattered back, and inside, Cheeky nervously watched the sixth brother's dark face. What was he thinking? Was it about the second prince's doubts? Or was he afraid someone would discover his secret? You just now. They both spoke at the same time and then awkwardly looked away. Hey, well, you go first, sixth brother. The sixth brother suddenly became serious. Were you going to call Yahello second brother just now? Cheeky was surprised that this was what he had been stewing over the whole way. I was being forced! And I didn't even say it. You know, the second prince likes to gouge out people's eyes, so... Oh, sixth brother, I know I was wrong. Yahello is arrogant, cruel, and cunning. I'm afraid of him. Seeing that the sixth brother was still unmoved, Cheeky decided to up the ante. She was about to pinch her own thigh to squeeze out a few tears when he stopped her. Don't pinch yourself, I believe you. Soon the carriage stopped at the courtyard gate. As she was leaving, Cheeky asked again, Are you really not angry anymore? I can see that you're truly wary of Yahello. Of course I'm not angry. Cheeky instantly understood. So this sixth brother was just testing me. By the way, the beginner class final exams at the Imperial Academy are in 10 days. You should prepare. Hearing this, Cheeky immediately slumped. I had forgotten all about it. Why did you have to remind me? It's fine. Everyone knows you sleep in class. Chin Taifu doesn't have high expectations for you. Just do your best. 10 days later, after the exams at the Imperial Academy, Cheeky was sprawled on her desk. She had suffered enough from studying in her past life. Why couldn't she escape it even after transmigrating? Next to her, Old 3 teased, Did you pull an all-nighter studying? You look like you've lost weight. Cheeky sighed. It's probably from all the extra lessons Old Chin gave me. He was probably afraid my grades would be too bad and he'd get in trouble with father, so he gave me a crash course. Ha 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 ha. It's your own fault for being so dumb. Come on, let's not think about it. Let's go to your palace and see if that big white dog has gotten any fatter. He's as fat as a pig. And Bai is a tiger, not a dog. All right, a tiger then. I'll get a lion to match your tiger. As the two sisters were chatting, the tyrant walked in. Cheeky immediately ran over to him and threw herself into his arms. The man gently chided her. You're running so fast, what if you fall? Because Cheeky missed Father Daddy so much. Ye Yunchang hadn't seen the tyrant since the incident with the brush and didn't know if he was still angry. She subconsciously stood up and bowed respectfully. Your daughter greets father. Sit down, your grades are excellent. The Grand Tutor praised your essay on governing the state. Hearing this, Old 3 was pleasantly surprised. She hadn't heard the man's praise in a long time. But Cheeky next to her was confused. Governing the state? I don't remember seeing that question. They should have had the same exam paper, right? Suddenly, she had a bad feeling. Was there a question on the back of the paper? She guiltily tugged on the tyrant's clothes and asked tentatively, Father Daddy, what if I didn't do well? Like if I missed a question or something? The man confidently ruffled her hair. My Cheeky is so smart, how could you not do well? At noon, the tyrant arranged a feast to reward the two sisters for finishing their exams. The little pipsqueak was happily munching on a chicken leg when old Zhao came in, looking worried and glancing at the little darling. The emperor asked impatiently, Is that Cheeky's exam paper? Yes, your majesty, please take a look. Hearing this, the chicken leg in Cheeky's mouth froze. Imperial sister, if I didn't do well, do you think Father Daddy will hit me? He won't hit you. Cheeky sighed in relief. He'll probably just kill you. Old 3, can't you not be so dramatic? Relax, relax. Father spoils you so much, he'll probably leave you half alive. At this point, the man had slowly opened the exam paper, and his brow furrowed deeper and deeper. Suddenly, he slammed his hand on the table, making the two little girls jump. The little pipsqueak felt an icy gaze on her and swallowed hard. It's over. My childhood is over. Yeah, Cheeky? A cold voice called out. Cheeky trembled. Well, I have to go to the bathroom. The tyrant ignored her and patted his leg. Come here. Cheeky turned to Ye Yunchang for help. Old 3 was sympathetic, but she couldn't do anything. Besides, she was also curious about how badly Cheeky had done. Cheeky had no choice but to try and charm her way out of it. Father Daddy, Cheeky wants to eat first, then go to the bathroom, and then... Here! The tyrant slammed his hand on the table again. This roar made everyone in the room think it's over. She had no choice but to resort to her secret weapon. Cheeky pinched herself hard and started wailing. Old 3 watched, stunned. Her acting is incredible. Don't cry. Explain to me what you wrote. He threw the exam paper in front of Cheeky. The little pipsqueak was too scared to speak, looking at the exam paper with teary eyes. But I filled it all out. You filled it out? Tell me what you filled it out with. Just simplified characters. You sure simplified it. If you don't explain to me what simplified characters are, I'll punish your imperial sister along with you. What? Old 3 was baffled. What does this have to do with me? Coincidentally, the 9th prince, who had nothing better to do, came to see the little girl. As he reached the door, he saw the kneeling servants and thought someone had made Nanan angry. When he saw old Zhao, he guessed it must be that annoying guy again. Suddenly, a wail came from the room. What's going on? Why is Nanan crying so hard? Old Zhao quickly explained. The 7th princess didn't do well on her exams, so His Majesty is angry. The 9th prince immediately started banging on the door. Imperial brother, Nanan is still young, you can't hit her. It'll traumatize her. When the door didn't open, he was afraid something had happened to the little girl and was about to kick it down when it opened from the inside. The tyrant's face was dark. I'm disciplining my child. Do you have to meddle in this too? Disciplining her? Nanan was crying so hard just now. You didn't hit her? The 9th prince didn't believe him. He anxiously entered the room and saw the little girl sobbing. He was heartbroken. Oh, my dear, where did he hit you? Cheeky shook her head, her eyes red. 9th uncle. There, uncle will hold you. My dear, Nanan, does he think I, her own father, am dead? The tyrant coughed pointedly. The two of them awkwardly pulled apart. The next second, Cheeky's tears started streaming down again. 9th uncle, Father Daddy didn't hit me. But she couldn't say that she had pinched herself too hard, so she lied. It's just that Father Daddy's glare was too fierce. Cheeky was scared. That's scary? Why don't you be 9th uncle's daughter instead? Behind them, the tyrant watched the two whispering and got angrier and angrier. He walked over, picked up the little pipsqueak and pulled her back into his arms, then roughly wiped her tears. Get your niece's exam paper and you'll know how much anger I've been holding back. After wiping her tears, the man gestured for Cheeky to hand the paper to Yemohan. The unsuspecting 9th prince took the paper and his mouth twitched. Nanan, why is every character missing a few strokes? And how could you answer this question like this? Cheeky was confused. Which question? The northern border is constantly harassed by pirates. A general must be sent to lead the troops. Cao Dai is skilled in amphibious and infantry warfare. Meng Jing is familiar with the pirates' tactics. Choose one of the two. Why did you choose your father? Uncle, think about it. The northern border is a desert. Cao Dai is skilled in amphibious and infantry warfare, which is obviously not suitable. Meng Jing has guarded the border before and is familiar with the pirates' tactics. But the border is still not peaceful, which shows his ability is not enough. Therefore, only Father Daddy can lead the troops to pacify the border and reassure the people. Yemohan had thought the little girl was just writing nonsense, but he was surprised that she could think so deeply at such a young age, and her reasoning even made some sense. But the tyrant's face was still dark. Then does Cheeky know what it means for the ruler of a country to lead the troops into battle? She knew, of course, but she couldn't say it. So she shook her head with an innocent expression. For the ruler of a country to lead the troops into battle means that there are no capable people in the country, which means the country is on the verge of collapse. Cheeky pretended to be shocked. Cheeky didn't know. I just thought that Father Daddy is brave and powerful. If you went, you would definitely be able to repel the enemy. Hearing this, the tyrant also thought it made sense, and a smile flickered across his face. Why do you think Father can do it? Why didn't you write your 9th uncle? Do you think Father is more powerful than him? Cheeky was speechless. Did he really have to put him down like that? But to curry favor, she immediately gave him a thumbs up. Father Daddy is the most powerful. The tyrant was very satisfied with this answer. Then shouldn't the most powerful person get a reward? Cheeky immediately planted a kiss on his cheek. Father Daddy, is Cheeky very stupid? My Cheeky has a unique perspective and is very intelligent. It's the people at the Imperial Academy who are blind. With Cheeky's talent, she could have gotten a perfect score. With that, he immediately called old Zhao and held up the exam paper in Ye Mohan's hand. Go, have the people at the Imperial Academy change this. Change it to first place. Cheeky was shocked. Isn't changing it to first place a bit much? Father Daddy, you don't have to change it. I'll just do better next time. Does Cheeky not think she deserves first place? Cheeky will try to get first place in the future. I just have a lot of shortcomings right now. If you change it, it will be unfair to the other students. But you are my daughter. Power and status are your birthright. Why should you care about so-called fairness? Father Daddy, in ancient times, Cao Cao cut his hair to show his determination and won the hearts of the army and the people. The law applies to everyone, even the emperor. I am your daughter, so I should be even more dedicated to upholding your image as a wise ruler. Besides the emperor, the 9th prince was also stunned. Imperial brother, how did you have this daughter? Teach me. Heh, I can't help it. She takes after me. My Cheeky is so good. The father and daughter's intimate interaction was a painful sight for the 9th prince. He also wanted a cute and caring little daughter like Cheeky. I'll pick a few good-looking girls for you tomorrow and send them to your estate for you to choose from. Girls? Yamohan's eyes widened. If you want a daughter, have one yourself. You're over 20, you should get married. Yamohan felt a lump in his throat. He wanted to refuse, but after a moment of hesitation, he agreed. Then I thank you, Your Majesty. But Your Majesty, could you lend me Cheeky for a day? Hearing this, the tyrant instinctively frowned. I just want Cheeky to help me choose. After all, we're choosing her future royal aunt. The tyrant was about to refuse, but Cheeky tugged on his clothes, her expression screaming, I want to go! I want to go! I want to go! The man had no choice but to agree. You better watch her closely. If she loses a single hair, I'll wipe out your entire household. Cheeky and the 9th prince were overjoyed. The next day, the tyrant sent Cheeky to the 9th prince's estate outside the palace. Nanan, are you tired from the ride? 9th uncle has prepared a lot of delicious food for you. Yay, yay, 9th uncle is the best to Cheeky. Seeing the table full of delicious food, Cheeky's eyes lit up and she started gobbling it down. Just then, a familiar voice came from behind a screen. 9th uncle, I couldn't find that one. Cheeky curiously walked over and was completely surprised to see her 6th brother at her 9th uncle's house. 6th brother, what are you doing here? Is there any reason I can't be here? Cheeky started to wonder. Could he also be here to help the 9th uncle choose a wife? Just then, Yamohan walked over. You couldn't find it? Then I'll go look in the backyard. Nanan, be good here. Uncle will be right back. After the 9th uncle left, the air suddenly became heavy. Cheeky smiled politely but awkwardly. It seemed she wouldn't be having a fun day alone with her 9th uncle after all. Then the 6th brother sat down comfortably. Cheeky, what are you doing here today? Cheeky was surprised. Aren't we both here to help the 9th uncle choose a wife? Choose a wife? Hearing this, Cheeky guessed that the 6th brother must have come out of the palace to meet someone in secret, like the masked man she had seen at the restaurant. Cheeky is here to help her uncle choose a wife. So you and your uncle are very close? 9th uncle is very good to Cheeky. Then am I good to Cheeky? Yes, of course you are. If you really thought so, why didn't you come to my palace to play? Why did you come all the way out of the palace to help the 9th uncle choose a wife? Oh my god. Stop fighting. Cheeky's expression turned serious. She quickly poured a cup of tea and said obediently and sincerely, I was wrong. I'll definitely come to see you in the future. When Yemohan returned, he saw Cheeky giving her 6th brother a shoulder massage. She was being as sycophantic as possible. Nanan, what are you doing, learning to respect my elders? He then threw the sword to the 6th brother and affectionately picked up the little pipsqueak. My dear, do you want to go out and play? Cheeky was about to agree when she heard the sound of a sword being drawn behind her. Looking at the 6th brother's dark face, it was a clear threat. Let's not. Cheeky will help 9th uncle choose a wife. Yemohan burst out laughing. That was just an excuse to get you out of the palace. I don't want to get married yet. But before long, the butler came in with a pile of booklets. Your Highness, His Majesty has sent too many people. Please look at these booklets to screen them first. Yemohan's mouth twitched. What a great brother. When the ministers ask you to choose concubines, you say you're busy with state affairs. So you just pass them all on to me. Cheeky, on the other hand, excitedly pulled the 6th brother over. Let's look together. 9th uncle, these sisters are so pretty. Yemohan glanced at them perfunctorily. Their figures are all right, but their faces are just average. What about this one? The daughter of Prime Minister Murong. The Murong family is too powerful at court, and they're allied with the Empress. Not a good choice. Then let's look at the next one. Wait, don't turn the page yet. Yemohan's smile turned mischievous. This one is very nice. Her face is like the moon. Her teeth are like pearls. Why don't we recommend her to your father? He'll definitely like this type. Nanan, help your father choose too. Hearing this, Cheeky picked up the booklet and looked at it again. Really? Does Father Daddy really like this type? Yemohan said guiltily. Of course. I know your father's taste like the back of my hand. Okay then, Cheeky will help my uncle and Father Daddy choose some beauties. Before long, there were 2 piles of booklets on the table. The left side is for uncle, the right side is for father. They have the same number, so it's fair. Isn't Cheeky so thoughtful? Nanan really isn't biased at all? Of course not. Cheeky is father's and uncle's caring little daughter. Uncle is not cold. You should give the jacket to your father. Ninth uncle, are you going to see them now? Do you want Cheeky to help you choose? Yemohan broke out in a cold sweat. You? You'd probably make me consummate the marriage on the spot. No need. Go, go, go. Good luck, uncle. I carefully selected these ones. They're very good at having babies. Watching Yemohan's retreating back, Cheeky sighed deeply. As soon as she finished sighing, she heard a cough from behind her. Crap. How could she have forgotten about that ancestor? She immediately turned, her expression innocent, and started her act. Sixth brother, do you want to pick some for father too? The sixth brother said coldly. It's just the 2 of us here now. You don't have to put on that act. They both sat back down at the table. Did you come out of the palace just to get this sword from the 9th uncle? The less you know, the better for you. You're choosing a wife for the 9th uncle for your own reasons too, right? Cheeky repeated his words back to him. The less you know, the better. She then tugged on the young man's sleeve. Ta-da, look. I found that there are also 13, 14, and 15-year-old girls in the back of the album. Do you want to choose one too? Cheeky didn't notice the 6th brother's expression darkening as she put the portraits in front of him. She's so cute, I think she's your type. Seeing the little pipsqueak's unusual excitement, the 6th brother's eyes grew colder. He suddenly smiled and leaned closer to Cheeky. My type? Does Cheeky know my tastes so well? Seeing the 6th brother getting closer and closer, Cheeky backed away nervously. Don't you like her? The 6th brother snatched the portrait from Cheeky's hand. I like her. How could I not like someone you picked for me? He then threw it up in the air, drew the sword Yemohan had just given him, and with a few quick slashes, tore the portrait to shreds. Seeing the 6th brother's angry expression, she thought, it's over. I said the wrong thing again. Before he could lose his temper, Cheeky immediately apologized. 6th brother, I was wrong. Please forgive me. You're a big man. Don't be mad at a little kid. Why are you apologizing, Cheeky? It's so thoughtful of you to worry about my marriage at such a young age. I'm so touched. 6th brother, I was wrong. I really didn't know you don't like younger girls. Next time, I'll definitely pick an older sister for you. Hearing this, the 6th brother's lip trembled with anger. Yeah, Cheeky! But before he could finish, he started coughing violently. The little girl's face fell. Did she make him that mad? He wasn't going to fake an injury, was he? Sixth brother, what's wrong? She anxiously patted his back, but the next second she saw dark red veins suddenly appear on the young man's face. The little girl's mouth dropped open in shock. Your face? He quickly covered his face with his hands and snapped at Cheeky. Get away from me! Cheeky froze, not knowing what to do. Was he so angry he was about to mutate? The 6th brother's dark voice sounded again. Turn around and don't look! Cheeky didn't dare hesitate and quickly turned away, completely bewildered. What was happening to his face? Was it related to that strange illness that kept him hidden away on the 15th of every month? But today wasn't the 15th. The 6th brother was trembling as he fumbled for his medicine, but the pouch that was always with him was nowhere to be found. After a moment, Cheeky realized it had gone silent behind her. 6th brother, are you okay? Do you need help? Just then, there was a loud thud, like something falling to the floor. Cheeky flinched. 6th brother hadn't just keeled over, had he? The more she thought about it, the more worried she became. She couldn't help but glance back, only to see him collapsed on the ground. Oh no, he's a goner! I need to call an ambulance. Wait, no, just call for help. Someone help, help! She had only shouted twice when the 6th brother's eyes snapped open on the floor. He grabbed her arm, his voice weak. Don't yell! He's a zombie? The little girl clapped a hand over her mouth, so scared she almost wet herself. Sixth brother, are you okay? I'm fine. The 6th brother slowly pushed himself up. He never expected the poison to act up so early. As he got to his feet, the dark red veins on his face gradually faded. He looked at Cheeky with a dark expression, wondering if he should silence her now that she had seen his secret. Just as murderous intent began to fill his heart, Cheeky took his hand. Sixth brother, are you sick? Does it hurt? A wave of warmth spread from her hand. He looked at her innocent face. Aren't you scared? Of course I'm scared. You're my only ally in the palace. If you die, I'll be all alone and have to walk on eggshells. Hearing this, the sixth brother's expression softened. Aren't you afraid I'll kill you to keep my secret? Cheeky looked at him sincerely. We both have secrets. It's better to face them with someone else than to bear them alone, right? You know how to keep your mouth shut, understand? If you dare say a single word, I'll kill you on the spot. Cheeky let out a long sigh of relief. I get it. I won't let you down. She was lucky she was quick on her feet and could be so dramatic on a whim. Little girl, what are you mumbling about? Heh heh, I was just saying I'll definitely keep your secret. You need to take care of yourself, sixth brother. As she spoke, Cheeky turned to slip away. But before she could take a step, he grabbed her shirt. Have you ever heard the saying, Cheeky? Only the dead can keep a secret forever. The little girl swallowed hard. After all that, he still wanted to kill her? The sixth brother scooped up the pale, terrified little girl. But this time, I'll trust you. You won't disappoint me, will you? Cheeky nodded frantically. Yes, yes, I swear on all the future chicken legs of my life. That's a pretty serious oath. Good girl. With that, the sixth brother sent Cheeky back to the palace. Just as she was about to go inside, his voice came from behind her. Stay away from him from now on. Cheeky turned confused. Who? Ninth uncle? Why? I don't like it. Cheeky watched him walk away, speechless. He was so bossy. Were ancient kids this dramatic too? Back in her room, Cheeky started looking through the portraits. Awan and Bai both came over to look. The women in these paintings are so beautiful. Right? The little girl said proudly. I picked them out specially for Father Daddy from Ninth Uncle's collection. You picked what out for me? The tyrant suddenly appeared in the doorway. Father Daddy, what are you doing here? I came to see what treasures you managed to get from your ninth uncle. Cheeky excitedly handed him the album. Take a look, Father Daddy. The tyrant frowned as he looked at the portraits. Weren't these the ones he had sent to the ninth prince's estate? Did Ye Mohan have you bring these back? No, I picked these for you. They're much better quality than the pile I picked for ninth uncle. The man was confused. Why did you pick out a pile for me and a pile for him? Because you don't have many children, Father Daddy, and my brothers and sisters are all so much older than me. There's a generation gap, so I want a little brother. She held up a portrait and started explaining. Ninth uncle said that women with big hips are better for having babies, and women with big faces bring good fortune to their husbands. The tyrant grew angrier the more he listened. How crude. Is this what he taught you? Damn Ye Mohan, in less than a day he's turned my little girl into this? But after his anger subsided, a sly smile appeared on his face. You won't get the best of me, just you wait. So you don't like any of them, Father Daddy? The tyrant gently ruffled Cheeky's hair. Cheeky did a good job. Daddy is very touched. But don't do this again. He handed the album to old Zhao. Keep finding new women for the ninth prince. And remember, make sure to find plenty with big faces and big hips. For his good fortune. Late that night in Changhua Palace, the sixth brother had just lain down when he heard very faint footsteps. I know you're not asleep. Stop pretending. Hearing the familiar voice, the sixth brother slowly sat up. A man dressed in black stood before him, his white hair flowing down his back, a silver mask covering half of his face. What are you doing here? I came to see how you are. You didn't expose yourself today, did you? Was that your doing today? The man smiled coldly, his voice a warning. Stay away from that girl. It won't be good if you develop feelings for her. The sixth brother's face darkened. I know what I'm doing. You know what you're doing? The man sneered. You're just a naive little boy. What could you possibly know? With that, he slapped him hard across the face. But I suppose I can't blame you for not being able to bring yourself to harm her. Even I'm quite fond of the little girl. Hearing this, the sixth brother clenched his fists. You are not to touch her! Don't tell me you've forgotten where you are and what you're here for. Even if I don't touch her, how long can you protect her? He tossed a small porcelain bottle to the sixth brother. Never forget who you are and never forget your purpose. The sixth brother stared at the small bottle in his hand, his heart in turmoil. Your Majesty, it's almost the end of the year. Have you looked at the list of New Year's gifts? The tyrant glanced at the little pipsqueak drooling in her sleep. Let the household department handle the gifts for the consorts. As for the princes and princesses, let them choose what they like. I will personally prepare Cheeky's gift. After old Zhao left, Cheeky groggily woke up, wiping drool from her mouth with a dazed look in her eyes. The tyrant deliberately teased her. Finished your reading? Cheeky jumped, instantly wide awake. Who am I? Where am I? I'm finished. She quickly flipped open the book, her face a question mark. What book is this again? Then I'll quiz you. In The Debate of Calgui, what does war is a matter of courage mean? she answered confidently. It means you need a lot of courage to fight with a teacher. And at the Hongmen banquet, what does I do not fear even death? Why would I refuse a cup of wine mean? I'm not afraid of drinking myself to death, so how could 1 cup of wine be enough? The tyrant almost had a heart attack. Cheeky's interpretations were certainly unique. You can go out and play. Daddy needs some quiet time. Hearing this, Cheeky happily ran out, thinking to herself that being well-read was a powerful and terrifying thing. She had just run outside when she bumped into a fuming Ye Yunchang. I was just about to go find you after seeing father. Good, now I don't have to. Let me borrow Bai. Ye Yunchang said, pulling Cheeky along with her. You have no idea. I went out to play today and got bullied by a group of little kids. It made me so mad. Cheeky's mouth twitched. You're the palace bully. It's a miracle you're not bullying others. Who would dare bully you? It's a long story. Anyway, we're taking Bai with us right now to get my revenge. Before long, the 2 girls and the tiger arrived at the scene of the crime. I'm telling you, I was just buying a red bean bun at the mouth of this alley when a group of little kids snatched it from me, right in public. Don't I have a reputation to maintain? So I chased them and they sicked a dog on me. If I hadn't been in disguise without my guards, I would have destroyed them. She found a stick from somewhere and handed it to Cheeky. You take this for self-defense. If they dare to hit you, you hit them back hard. I know. Diplomacy first, violence later. I won't move until they do. After getting organized, Ye Yunchang shouted into the alley, You little red bean bun thieves, get out here. I'm going to teach you a lesson. A small stone suddenly flew out of the alley and Ye Yunchang dodged it. Playing dirty? Come out if you have the guts. A few shabbily dressed kids and a dog emerged from the alley. I'm a generous princess. If you apologize, I'll let it go. Otherwise, I'll have you all thrown in jail. I'm so scared. If you're a princess, then I'm a prince. Seeing this, Cheeky also stepped forward with her wooden stick, trying to look fierce. But the kids on the other side just burst out laughing. Where did this little sprout come from? She's so short. Look, a coward and a shorty. Ha ha ha. Cheeky was furious. Imperial sister, I'm losing my self-control. She raised the wooden stick and threw it with all her might. You're the cowards! Your whole family is cowards and shorties! By a stroke of luck, it hit the lead kid right on the forehead. Duan Gay, are you okay? That shorty dared to hit you. We have to turn her into a cucumber salad. Sister, why did you hit him? He wasn't the one who stole the bun. Hey, to catch the bandits, you have to catch the king first. You look like the big brother. You should know right from wrong. You stole my sister's bun first, then sicked a dog on her. That's not right. The lead big brother stood up and faced Cheeky. So what do you want? You don't have to pay for the bun, but she has to apologize to my sister. I can make them apologize. But you just hit me. What about that? What should they do? It seemed like they were being extorted. Maybe they should just run for it? Well, how about... Cheeky stammered. Just then, Bai bared its little tiger fangs. The kids and the big black dog were terrified. Fine, the big brother sighed. He turned to the kids who had stolen the bun. Apologize. We're sorry we were wrong. But we already ate the bun, so we can't give it back. Ye Yunchang rolled her eyes haughtily. Even if you gave it back, I wouldn't want it. Besides, I'm not a stingy person who cares about money. If you had just asked nicely, I would have given it to you. She grabbed a handful of something and threw it on the ground. You can be poor, but you can't steal from others. Yeah, Duange, look, it's silver. With this, we can get medicine for little sister. They were ecstatic. That's great, little sister can be saved. Hearing this, tears welled up in Cheeky's eyes. She never knew that even in the brightest of places, there were dark corners. They were just so pitiful. Just then, Ye Yunchang remembered something. Why don't you go to the orphanage in the capital? It's for homeless children. Hearing this, the big brother's eyes flashed with anger. He asked coldly, How do you know about the orphanage? Who are you people? Faced with his question, Ye Yunchang took out her royal token. Cheeky tried to stop her, but it was too late. Ye Yunchang held the token high. Who are we? Didn't I tell you before? I'm a princess. The other kids had never seen one before and only knew it was a big piece of gold, but the big brother's face changed. In that case, I can't let you go. Ye Yunchang immediately stood in front of Cheeky on guard. I was kind enough to tell you who we are and even give you money. What are you doing? The big brother gripped his stick, his teeth clenched. All government officials deserve to die. Cheeky saw the hatred in his eyes and knew something was wrong. She immediately shouted, Bai! Hearing her call, Bai let out a series of tiger roars. The other kids turned pale with fear and the more timid ones immediately ran away. Run! Ye Yunchang's confidence returned. Hey, go bite their butts! Bai responded with a roar and charged. But the big brother didn't run. He stared straight at Bai. Just as Bai was about to pounce, he threw a handful of powder. Bai whimpered and collapsed to the ground. Cheeky's face went white and she rushed over. Ye Yunchang's face flushed with anger. What did you do to Bai? You bad man. I'm going to have father chop off your head. The kid ignored her and calmly opened a small bottle. Pungent smell filled the air. Chiki's vision started to blur, and then everything went black. She didn't know how long she was out, but when she slowly woke up, she had been changed into ragged clothes. Seeing Ye Yunchang tied to a post and the big brother and a little girl lying on a bed opposite them, she instantly understood. They had been kidnapped. The little girl on the bed suddenly coughed. "Brother Duan, I don't want to drink anymore." The big brother patiently comforted her. "Be good. You'll only get better if you drink the medicine." The little girl resignedly sat up. "Chew!" Chiki couldn't help but sneeze. Hearing the sound, the big brother turned to look at her. "Well, you're up early." Chiki's eyes were wide. "What do you want?" The big brother didn't answer. Instead, he reached into his clothes and pulled out a bun, offering it to Chiki. "Hungry?" Chiki's stomach was already growling. She wanted to eat it, but she was worried it might be drugged again. Seeing her hesitation, the big brother forced the bun into her hands. "What? Is a pampered little princess too good for my leftovers?" Hearing this, Chiki decided to just eat it. She didn't want to starve to death. Just then, the big black dog came over, sniffing at the bun. Chiki suddenly remembered her bai. She grabbed the big brother's arm anxiously. "Where's my bai? What did you do to him?" "Do you want money? If you let us and bai go, I'll have my daddy give you lots of money." He violently shook her hand off. "You little princesses are born with golden spoons in your mouths. Your lives are more valuable than ours, is that it?" As he spoke, he wiped the soot from his hands onto Chiki's face. "Today, you're going to go out and beg. If you dare to call for help, your sister and that big cat won't live to see another day." With that, the big brother took Chiki to the East Street night market. Dressed as a little beggar, Chiki squatted in a corner, looking surprisingly professional. "Well, start begging." "Beg for what? I don't have any experience." "You've never done it before, but you've seen it done, haven't you?" "Okay, I get it. Are you sure you want me to beg?" The big brother nodded. Chiki took a deep breath, and the next second she shot up and yelled at the top of her lungs, "Grandpas, grandmas, uncles, aunts, brothers, sisters, please help a poor child. This child is about to die." The big brother was startled and quickly covered her mouth. "What are you doing?" "Begging for money? You told me to beg, didn't you?" "Are you doing this on purpose? Yelling like that will just annoy people. Who's going to give you money?" But before he could finish, a coin clinked into her bowl. "Oh, you poor little thing. Such a cute girl, too. Here, go buy a bun." People all around started tossing their spare change into her bowl. "Thank you, everyone. I hope you all get rich and come back every day." Before long, Chiki's little beggar bowl was full. "I've made you so much money. Can you let me go now?" But the big brother just laughed. "Do you really think I brought you here to beg for money? Kidnapping a princess is a crime punishable by the execution of my entire family. I know I'm going to die, but I'm going to take someone down with me. You're not going to take me, are you?" Just then, the big brother glanced behind him. "Do you know what the orphanage does? On the surface, it takes in homeless orphans, but behind the scenes, well, never mind. You'll find out soon enough. They're here." With that, the big brother tapped a pressure point on the back of Chiki's neck. Chiki suddenly found that she couldn't speak, only make little ee-ah-ah sounds. She touched her throat in disbelief. Just then, a commotion started up behind them. A group of men with wooden clubs were walking toward them. Before Chiki could react, the big brother grabbed her and started running. "You little brat, stop right there!" One of the men threw his club, and it hit the big brother hard on the back of the head. He collapsed, taking Chiki down with him. The big brother quickly shielded Chiki with his body, but Chiki was confused. If he hadn't run, those men wouldn't have noticed them. Was he doing this on purpose? The men caught up, and the one with the gold tooth kicked the big brother hard in the back. "Yeah, you run now!" As he was kicking him, he suddenly noticed something and gestured to his men. After they pulled the big brother away, the man with the gold tooth picked up Chiki. Well, where did you find such a pretty little thing?" The big brother, who had been pinned to the ground, suddenly broke free and lunged at him. "Don't you touch my sister!" He bit down hard on the man's hand. The man screamed in pain, but the next second he sneered, "So you've got another sister? Great. Take them both back to the orphanage." Meanwhile, in a restaurant upstairs, the first prince, Ye Jingshuan, was comforting Niang Niang. "What's all that noise downstairs? It's scaring Niang Niang." His friend Wen Yan replied, "It's probably just some kids from the orphanage who ran away again. It happens all the time. As soon as their basic needs are met, they start thinking about running off." Just then, a guard entered and whispered something in the first prince's ear. The man who had been calm and collected suddenly stood up, his eyes cold as he looked out the window. Meanwhile, at the orphanage, the man with the gold tooth pinched Chiki's cheek. "So pretty, but she's a mute." "Oh well, some rich men have a taste for that sort of thing." Chiki then understood. The orphanage was secretly a front for this kind of business. Just then, one of his men shouted from outside, "Goldtooth, we have an important guest." If there's a guest, why are you all just standing at the door? Get in there and serve him. Gold, gold, gold tooth inside. What is it? What are you so scared of? The man with the gold tooth impatiently walked inside. He was immediately greeted by the roars of a large and a small tiger. He was so scared his legs gave out and he almost wet himself. After composing himself, he looked at the regal man standing next to the tigers and cautiously approached him. You must have heard about the orphanage's business, sir, and that's why you've come so late at night. What kind of taste do you have? The man's cold eyes were terrifying. What kind do you have here? Hearing this, the man with the gold tooth said obsequiously, We have all kinds. Whatever you want, we can get it for you, and the government will never find out. After all, a few missing kids now and then is no big deal. We can just make up an excuse. Clang! The man slammed his teacup on the table. The next second, a large group of Imperial guards rushed in. Before the man with the gold tooth could react, the captain of the guards knelt respectfully before the tyrant. At your service, your majesty! The man with the gold tooth was completely stunned. He collapsed to the floor, staring at the man in terror. Just then, the sixth brother walked in from outside, carrying Cheeky. When the little girl saw her father daddy, she burst into tears. The tyrant took the little girl from his son's arms, his heart aching at the sight of her dirty face. It's daddy's fault. I accidentally lost you. I'm so sorry. After comforting the little girl, the tyrant had his son take her outside. He didn't want her to see what was about to happen. As soon as they were out the door, the tyrant's roar echoed from inside. Pull him! The room was filled with the roars of tigers and the screams of the man with the gold tooth. The sixth brother quickly covered Cheeky's ears. Feeling the little girl still sobbing, he said softly, It's okay. I'm here. I'm so glad I found you. After a while, when Cheeky could speak again, she asked him, Who was the other tiger in the room besides Bai? That's a white tiger father has raised for many years. It's Bai's father. Hearing this, Cheeky was surprised. Not that Bai had a father, but that the sixth brother had referred to the tyrant so casually. The sixth brother saw her surprise. Don't ask, don't speak. Even if you did, no one would believe you. Okay then. Cheeky leaned back against his shoulder. As soon as they left the orphanage, the third princess rushed over to them. Imperial sister, Cheeky whimpered. Let me see, are you hurt? Did they hit you? Does anything hurt? No one hit me. I'm just a little dirty. Cheeky rolled up her sleeve to show her. Seeing that Cheeky was okay, the third princess couldn't hold back her tears and hugged her tightly. You scared me to death. I'm so glad you're okay. Otherwise, I would have made everyone here pay with their lives. Imperial sister. There, don't cry. Ahem. I got a little carried away. Let me wipe your face. You've got snot all over. The two little pipsqueaks suddenly burst out laughing. But a second later, the third princess's expression turned fierce again. Don't think I'll let you off the hook just because you let me go. It's okay, Imperial sister. He had his reasons. He's not a bad guy. I don't care. He didn't have the guts to expose them himself, so he used you. What if you had really... What? Is a princess's life more valuable than a commoner's? The big brother's sudden question made the two sisters freeze. My own sister was only 8 years old when that monster tortured her to death, and in the end, they just said she died of an illness and got away with it. His words were like daggers, and even the third princess felt a pang of sympathy. You call me a coward who used someone else to do my dirty work? But when justice is blind, do you think I didn't fight back? You tell me what's black and what's white. If it weren't for my plan today, how would you have known about the horrors of this orphanage? The third princess was speechless. Cheeky spoke up softly. Your story is tragic, but that's no excuse for committing a crime. Although we learned about the orphanage's dark dealings because of you, the court had already noticed something was wrong and was sending people to investigate. Impossible, the court has never cared about us commoners. You complain that justice is blind, but have you ever tried to trust the court? Young Master Dwan. Everyone looked up and saw the ninth prince, Yamohan. He first ruffled the little girl's hair. Ninth uncle is here. Nanan has been through a lot. He then continued. Regarding the death of your father, General Dwan, no matter how much you hate the court, the fact that he colluded with the enemy is undeniable. His Majesty, in consideration of his past merits, spared his children. That is already a great kindness. My father would never betray the country. Since they were unharmed, I will ask His Majesty to spare your life. However, you cannot escape the law. Just then, groups of children were escorted out of the orphanage by the Imperial Guards. The big brother watched them with guilt. He had only meant to deal with the man with the gold tooth, but now that the orphanage was gone, they had nowhere to go and would likely be sold to brothels. Don't worry, the orphanage will be rebuilt. The court will pay for these children's upbringing, education, and civil service exams. They will be no different from anyone else. The big brother burst into tears. The emperor was really willing to save these children? Of course. Father Daddy's word is his bond. All this time, the big brother had hated the court, hated the emperor. But at this moment, he finally let go of his anger. Cheeky also smiled. The process had been rough, but the ending wasn't so bad. Just then, the first prince also came over to comfort the little girl. Cheeky suddenly felt so happy. Everyone had come. It was a full family reunion. Big hands holding little hands, happiness forever. The tyrant took Cheeky's hand, his face full of affection. Let's go home. As soon as they got back to the palace, Awan burst into tears. My little princess, you've suffered so much. Look at you, you're so dirty. You don't know. But while you were gone, His Majesty didn't even attend morning court. Cheeky thought, oh no, the tyrant is definitely going to punish me. 28 minutes later, the little girl was finally clean. She walked into the room and saw the tyrant sitting on the soft couch. She immediately ran over and threw herself into his arms. Come, let me see if you're hurt. After checking her face, he rolled up her sleeves to check her arms, his voice serious. This is the second time. Seeing the tyrant was about to get angry, Cheeky immediately started to act cute. I was wrong. I'll never do it again. But this time, the tyrant didn't fall for it. Don't think I don't know you're trying to get away with it. Cheeky laughed awkwardly. Then I promise, if it happens again, You'll what? I'll do extra lessons with you, Father Daddy, for 2 whole months. You said it yourself. Cheeky nodded quickly. Third time's the charm, I know. So, what's going to happen with the orphanage? Everyone involved, whether they were the mastermind or an accomplice, will be executed. But this case involves a lot of people, so we need to investigate it thoroughly first. What about Duan Shiling? What will happen to him? He should be executed. Really? But he was just trying to expose the orphanage's crimes. He was forced to, so he can ignore the law and kidnap my daughter? For a country to be stable, the law must be upheld. Although he exposed the orphanage's crimes, what if everyone followed his example? This time, you were lucky to be unharmed. If his plan had gone wrong, do you think I would have let him go? But I'm fine, right? And Ninth Uncle already promised him. The tyrant couldn't believe Cheeky would bring up that scoundrel, Ye Mohan. Father Daddy, think about it. If Ninth Uncle pleads for him, people will praise him for his kindness. Then you'll be... The tyrant thought about it. Duan Shilling was the son of a high-ranking official. If he was severely punished, people might say he was a ruthless ruler. Don't worry, Cheeky. Father Daddy will reconsider. Father Daddy is the best! Long live Father Daddy! The next afternoon, Old Bai was playing with Bai, while Cheeky and the tyrant were having lunch. Will Bai grow up to be like this silly big brother? Yes, children always grow up. Cheeky immediately sensed his mood and walked over to Bai and Old Bai. But even if children grow up, their love for their father will never change. Hearing this, the tyrant was slightly taken aback, then smiled. After this winter, you'll be 6. When you really grow up, I won't let you marry far away. Would you be willing, Cheeky? Of course I would. Good, then we have a deal. Awan was tidying Cheeky's small school bag, muttering to herself. Don't worry, Sister Awan. The trip to Jingfan Temple is a school tradition. Besides, my sister and 6th brother are going too. I'll be fine. I know. With the 6th prince there, I'm not worried. But before they could even reach the gate, the 1st prince blocked their path. Cheeky looked up, still a little scared. First brother. Are you going out, Cheeky? To Jingfan Temple? You're still so young, and you can't bring a maid. Who will take care of you? Did father approve? He did. My sister and 6th brother are coming too. Did you need something from me, 1st brother? I was just passing by and thought I'd check on you. Mainly, Niang Niang misses you. The 6th brother, who was standing nearby, couldn't listen to his excuses anymore. He grabbed the little girl's hand. 1st brother, it's getting late. The others are waiting for us at the gate. The 1st prince ruffled Cheeky's hair. The spring wind is chilly. Remember to wear more clothes. Don't play too much, and be careful on the road. Cheeky nodded, confused. The usually cold and distant 1st prince was acting so strange today. Did he eat something weird? The 6th brother practically dragged Cheeky away. She waved goodbye. 1st brother, we're leaving now. The 1st prince looked a little sad. Niang Niang. Niang Niang, she's never called me brother. Is it because I don't look friendly? But as soon as they left the courtyard, they saw a carriage. Old 3 poked her head out. Cheeky, my darling, your sister is here to pick you up. Go on, you can ride with her. I'll follow on horseback. Why aren't you riding in the carriage, 6th brother? I'm not used to it. He glanced at Old 3. What are you looking at? Old 3 glared back. I just saw the 1st prince in your courtyard. Was he mean to you? No, he was nice. You think he's nice? How nice? Like marriage material nice? Just then, the carriage curtain was suddenly thrown open, and the 2 sisters looked over. Seeing Old 6 coming in, Old 3 asked, 6th brother, are you going to ride with us? Please say no, she prayed silently. But as expected, the 6th brother sat down. My horse suddenly got sick. I have no choice but to ride with you. I don't believe you for a second. Your horse just had to get sick right at this moment? She lifted the curtain and saw a giant man riding a small horse, which was foaming at the mouth from the weight. Cheeky immediately recognized him. It was the clumsy Wang Daju from the training grounds. Little Pipsqueak, I think I just heard you say something about marriage material? Meanwhile, the Tyrant had been busy with state affairs. Desheng, I didn't see the little Pipsqueak off today. Was she upset? Not at all. The 7th princess is always very understanding. I saw her leaving with the 6th prince, and she was so happy she was practically flying. The man's face immediately darkened. She likes the outside world that much? Old Zhao panicked. Why did he have to be so honest? He quickly tried to backtrack. I saw the 7th princess lift the carriage curtain and look back several times as she was leaving. She must have been missing you very much. But she's still young. It's normal for her to be excited about new things. It wasn't until she ate the candied hawthorns the 9th prince gave her at the palace gate that she smiled a few times. The man, who had just started to feel better, immediately turned gloomy again. Where is that Ye Mohan guy now? I had him handle the military funds for the Southwest. Is he finished? Old Zhao flinched again. Your Majesty, didn't the 9th prince submit a report last night? You even approved it. Then tell him I have something urgent for him. Have him come here now. Yes, Your Majesty. But the 9th prince can't come. Is he dead? No. He went with the school to Jingfan Temple. What? That guy went to steal my precious baby again. Meanwhile, after half a day's journey, the carriage finally stopped. The groggy Cheeky was woken up by her 6th brother. The little girl rubbed her eyes. Where's Imperial Sister? She couldn't wait and already got out. After getting out of the carriage, she was greeted by a flight of 1,000 stairs. At the top of the stairs was a magnificent temple that seemed to reach the clouds. We have to walk up all that? With no other choice, Cheeky started climbing the stairs on her short legs. It was obvious she was struggling. The 6th brother was about to offer to carry her when a figure shot past him and scooped up the little darling. Nanan, why didn't you wait for your 9th uncle? Seeing who it was, Cheeky happily hugged his neck. The 6th brother, standing nearby, was completely stunned. Yemohan looked at him with a mischievous glint in his eye. What? Does little 6 want uncle to carry him too? Who are you calling little 6? But then an idea came to him and he smiled. Since you've offered, how could I refuse? Uncle, I want a hug. He held out his arms. Are you tired, 9th uncle? The little pipsqueak asked sweetly. Not at all, Yemohan said through gritted teeth, sweat dripping down his forehead. Finally, he stumbled up the last step, silently praying for his old back. After he put them down, Cheeky took out a handkerchief and wiped his sweat. So, Nanan, isn't your uncle much stronger than your father daddy, who just sits in the palace all day? Achoo! Achoo! Back in the palace, the tyrant sneezed several times in a row. Your Majesty, should I summon the imperial physician? No need. Announce that I will be leaving the palace in a few days for an inspection tour. That night, in a meditation room at Jingfan Temple, Cheeky had just fallen asleep when she heard Old Three's soft whisper. She instinctively rubbed her eyes. Imperial sister, why are you still awake? Shh! The food at this temple is so bland, it's either cabbage or tofu. Get up, I'll take you to get something good to eat. Cheeky quickly got dressed, and the two of them tiptoed out of the room. Old Three led her to the back mountain, where the 6th brother and the others were having a secret barbecue. Wang Daju turned and handed her a chicken leg. 7th princess, come eat this. But just as Cheeky reached for it, the chicken leg was snatched away. Cheeky, eat this meat skewer I grilled. The chicken leg is a bit spicy. His sudden attentiveness was a little strange to Cheeky, but the next second she was captivated by the meat skewer and started gobbling it down. Just then, Hijing said, I was wondering why Sheng Ge wasn't eating. Turns out he was saving it for his sister. As soon as he finished speaking, Old Three whacked him on the head a few times. What? Is he the only one who's nice to Cheeky? Am I not nice to her? Are you blind? 3rd princess, spare me. By the way, 6th brother, how did you learn to grill this? The food at this temple is too plain. You're all still growing, you need to eat nutritious food, so I learned how to do it. If it weren't for you little pipsqueaks, I wouldn't be doing such menial work. It's true, you're a prince. Unlike me, who grew up in the cold palace and had to do everything myself. But things are better now. Father, uncle, my brothers, and my sister are all so good to me. I wish it could always be like this. As she spoke, Cheeky's expression became sad. Thinking about the brothers turning against each other and the family feuds in the original story made her feel a little down. The 6th brother, thinking she was remembering her life in the cold palace, said softly, Don't worry. As long as I'm here, I'll protect you. Yes, since she couldn't change the future, she should live in the present and cherish what she had. Cheeky, look at the sky. Wow! She looked up and saw a sky full of stars, their light illuminating the dark night. You can probably only see a starry sky this beautiful in ancient times. I mean, outside the palace, Yes, outside the palace. You've rarely been out, so of course you've never seen it. Have you seen a starry sky like this before, sixth brother? The sixth brother looked a little sad. I used to see it often when I was a child, but I haven't had the chance since. Chiki was slightly taken aback. How did he see it when he was a child? Did he sneak out of the palace like her? Seeing her confused expression, he said, "You'll find out in the future. It's late now. I'll take you back." The sixth brother had just taken the little pipsqueak for a secret barbecue when they were caught red-handed by the ninth prince. "What are you all doing on the back mountain so late at night?" Everyone was startled to see Ye Mohan. Ninth! Ninth! Ninth prince! I just remembered I have to go pee. Well, I don't think he knows how. I'll go teach him. With that, Hijing and Wang Daju scrambled away. Ye Mohan was speechless. What was that all about? It's not like I was going to spank them. Nanan, get your ninth uncle a chicken leg. The sixth brother grumbled. How did you find us here, uncle? I woke up in the middle of the night and smelled meat. I figured you little rascals were having a feast without me. The sixth brother pulled Chiki into his arms and teased. We were just thinking about how hard it was for you to carry me and Chiki up the mountain. We were afraid you'd be too tired to stand up straight, so we wanted you to get more rest. You little brat, you dare to mock me? I'll scare you to death. The night is so beautiful, it's boring to just sit here. How about I tell you a bedtime story? Okay. Tell us. The three little pipsqueaks looked at him with anticipation. A long time ago, a woman beat the drum of injustice at the county yamen. Her husband was a handyman at the yamen, and a few days ago he had said some strange things and then disappeared. The woman couldn't find him anywhere, so she had no choice but to seek help. Was it because he had stumbled upon a case of bribery and murder at the yamen? The woman was shocked. How did you know? Because your husband stumbled upon my secret. Do you think I could let him live? The magistrate then said to the woman, when you were beating the drum of injustice just now, did you not see your husband's birthmark on the drumhead? Chiki shivered. The magistrate used the woman's husband's skin to make the drum? The sixth brother quickly covered Chiki's ears. Uncle, why are you scaring her? Just then, the third princess, who was sitting next to them, suddenly stood up. Her face was pale. It's late. Chiki and I are going back to bed. Ye Mohan laughed. I thought you were so brave. You're already scared? I'm not scared. I'm sleepy. Yes, I'm sleepy. Then you go first, Imperial Sister. I'll take Chiki back later. The third princess wanted to say more, but for some reason, the sixth brother's eyes were very dark at that moment. Okay then, you watch her. Don't let her get lost. After she left, he also took Chiki's hand to leave. Sixth brother, why are we taking the small path? Don't you think the scenery on the forest path is better than the main road? Suddenly, she heard a rustling sound. She screamed, Sixth brother, there's something moving in the bushes. I think it's a snake. The sixth brother deliberately teased her. So are you more afraid of snakes or the drum made of human skin? Hearing this, Chiki buried her head in his chest. The sixth brother was delighted and simply picked up the little girl. By the way, the decree for Duan Shiling came down this morning. His life was spared, but he's been exiled 1,000 miles away. That far? What, are you sad to see him go? Chiki quickly shook her head. No. You're very kind to forgive even the person who kidnapped you. If you were a boy, father would probably make you the crown prince and heir to the throne. Isn't that obvious? If I were a boy, you guys wouldn't even have a chance. What are you mumbling about? Nothing, just saying you're handsome. But did you have some kind of feud with Father Daddy in the past? You don't seem to like him, and you even call him by his name behind his back. It's all in the past. It has nothing to do with you, so you don't need to know. Chiki fell silent. It seemed her guess was right. His illness, the terrifying marks on his face, were probably related to this. As she was thinking, the sixth brother suddenly popped a piece of candy into her mouth. I was a bit harsh just now. You've eaten my candy, so you can't be mad at me anymore. Chiki blinked her big eyes. Yummy! Yummy! Candy from the palace? No, only I have this candy. He then took her hand again and stammered, his face turning red. You are not to look at anyone else like that in the future. You know, with your eyes blinking like that. I know, can I have another piece of candy, sixth brother? Just one, please? A short while later, the sixth brother had brought Chiki to the door of her meditation room. Go on in. Thank you for walking me back, sixth brother. Good night. The young man's heart warmed. He knew he shouldn't have any attachments, but for some reason, this little girl always managed to pull at his heartstrings. Just then, it started to rain, and the drops fell on his confused face. It felt like Chiki was learning more and more. Should he keep getting closer to her? Suddenly, a hand landed on his shoulder from behind. The poison in your body is acting up more and more frequently, and the medicine is becoming less and less effective. Now that you've started down this path, you can't have any weaknesses. That girl, you must get rid of her soon. As soon as Cheeky entered, she heard the patter of rain outside. Thinking that he probably hadn't gone far, she was about to call him in to wait out the rain. But just then, the third princess suddenly covered her mouth from behind. Someone's coming.
Let's get back in bed.
Cheeky followed her and crawled into the covers. Imperial sister, who's here? It doesn't sound like the monks doing their rounds. I didn't see any candlelight. I'm afraid it's a bad guy. Let's wait and see. Suddenly, the door creaked open. Cheeky quickly closed her eyes and pretended to be asleep. As the footsteps got closer, she trembled with nervousness. Oh no, is it an assassin? What kind of luck do I have? I just got kidnapped. What are you thinking about now? A familiar voice broke through her frantic thoughts. She immediately threw back the covers. Sixth brother! The young man took off his wet outer robe. It's raining too hard. I can't leave. I'll go back when it lets up. What were you thinking about just now? Nothing. Just, Imperial sister said that. She turned her head, and the third princess, who had just been talking about waiting and seeing, was already fast asleep. Seeing this, Cheeky didn't say anything more. Instead, she patted the bed. Why don't we squeeze in and sleep together? It's not going to stop raining anytime soon. You want me to sleep with you? What's wrong? You don't want to? What's the big deal? We're both kids, and this meditation room is co-ed anyway. Besides, you and I are good friends. Hearing this, the sixth brother's face turned red. You're saying you and I are good friends? Of course we are, she thought. We're allies after all. Cheeky then tidied up his clothes, pulled him onto the bed, tucked him in, and then crawled in herself, even saying, good night. The sixth brother was so nervous he didn't dare to move. After her breathing had evened out, he turned his head slightly to look at her. He couldn't believe this little girl trusted him so much. He was so close, he could kill her with a flick of his finger, yet she had no defenses at all. Just then, the sleeping Cheeky suddenly hugged his arm and started smacking her lips. Heh heh, what a big chicken leg. Oh well, even though the masked man was right, he still couldn't bring himself to hurt her. He took another piece of candy from his pouch. He gently placed it in her mouth. I've lost to you, you little fool. A short while later, the sixth brother also drifted off to sleep. But Cheeky suddenly opened her eyes, her heart pounding. She was lucky she was so clever, otherwise she would have been a goner. It seemed he didn't completely trust her yet. But that candy was really good. The next morning, all the students gathered in the main hall to listen to the abbot chant scriptures. As she listened, Cheeky started to get sleepy. Just then, the third princess leaned over and whispered, Little sister Cheeky, do me a favor. She pointed to the side. See that young man in the green robes? The groggy little girl followed her finger. Which one? The most handsome one. He's the eldest son of the Duke. He's cold and distant and doesn't like to talk to people. They call him Beauty Song. I came here just for him. Cheeky, my darling, you have to help me. I wrote a letter. Can you give it to him for me later? After class, the third princess pulled Cheeky along and they secretly followed Song Yucheng. Cheeky, go now. He's alone. But before Cheeky could take 2 steps, a group of female students swarmed him. Young master, this is my handkerchief. Young master, this is the sachet I embroidered for you. Imperial sister, should we still go? Of course, they're just a bunch of butterflies. But I think he's just average. He's not as handsome as sixth brother. Do you really have to like him? Hearing this, the third princess quickly denied it. Who said I like him? I don't like him at all. Seeing her reaction, Cheeky knew the truth. I'll go deliver it for you, but I can't guarantee anything. With that, Cheeky pushed her way through the crowd of butterflies. But she was too short and couldn't even reach their waists. Just then, Song Yucheng's attendant came running over, skillfully blocking the young master. Please, you can give your things to me, my young master. While the attendant was dealing with the butterflies, Cheeky snuck up behind Song Yucheng and poked him. But when he turned around, he couldn't see anyone. The little girl got annoyed. Where are you looking? Down here, I'm down here, who are you? Cheeky was about to hand him the letter when the attendant laughed. Young master, you're a hit with all ages now. Even a little doll is trying to get your attention. Take it away, I don't want it. Ah, you're pretty arrogant, aren't you? Cheeky was about to turn and leave, but she remembered how much this meant to her sister. If she couldn't deliver the letter, she would be heartbroken. If you don't want to read it, you can just take it. My sister. But Song Yucheng cut her off again. No, you're not my type. He then looked Cheeky up and down. You're too short. We're not a good match. You can refuse the letter, but you don't have to get personal. I'm just telling the truth. If you're really interested, come back when you're taller. Cheeky felt like she'd just been insulted. This arrogant, conceited ancient man. But as Song Yucheng turned to leave, someone blocked his path. Apologize. You shorty, apologize to my friend? Song Yucheng said calmly. Why should I? You are not to call her short. She's not short, she's cute. Seeing Wang Dazhu, Cheeky immediately ran over and took his hand. Thank you, Dazhu. Song Yucheng sneered. Do you know who I am? Are you sure you want to go against me? Hearing this, Cheeky whispered his identity to Daju. Just as Song Yucheng was smugly preparing to leave, Daju grabbed him. I don't care who you are not to bully her. If you want to get revenge on me later, Wang Daju, will take it. But today, if you don't apologize to her, you're not leaving. Fine, Wang Daju, is it? I'll remember you. He reluctantly bowed to Cheeky. I was rude. Please forgive me, young lady. The big guy and the little darling exchanged a smile. This letter is from my sister. You can do whatever you want with it, but I have to complete my mission. Also, even though my sister likes you, you're not my type. She then happily walked away with Daju. Just then, Ye Mohan also came out of the main hall and overheard some of the female students gossiping. A little girl just gave the young master a love letter. Yeah, and I think he called her short. And she said something about him not being her type. Little girl? Love letter? The more Ye Mohan thought about it, the more it sounded like Cheeky. Impossible, she's still a little girl. He shook his head and decided to go find her and ask. He could even help her if she needed it. But as he turned, he saw a familiar figure. The tyrant's face was as dark as a thundercloud. Old Zhao was sweating behind him. The tyrant stared coldly at the young man in front of him. Who is that? Your Majesty, that is the eldest son of the Duke, Song Yucheng. Go tell that Song guy to keep his son in check. Tell him to stop coming out and flirting. After delivering the love letter for her sister, Cheeky and Ye Yunchang went back to their meditation room. But she had a bad feeling. There was something off about Song Yucheng, and she felt like she had heard his name somewhere before. Ye Yunchang, on the other hand, was completely lovesick. Do you like him that much, Imperial Sister? I think he's just average, and he has a bad temper. You're still young, you don't understand love. It was love at first sight for me. The first time I saw him, I wanted him to be my husband. Hearing the word husband, Cheeky suddenly remembered. She finally knew why Song Yucheng's name sounded so familiar. In the original story, the 16-year-old Ye Yunchang begged the tyrant to let her marry him. To marry him, she gave up everything. But on their wedding night, he revealed his true colors. He already had a lover and had only married her for her wealth and status. After she gave birth, he brought his lover into their home to raise her child. And in the end, to save his lover, he personally took Ye Yunchang's heart's blood to use as medicine, causing her to die with a broken heart. At that time, the entire northern lands was in a state of war, and no one paid any attention to what was happening in the prince consort's estate. Cheeky clenched her little fists. She had to change her sister's tragic fate. She had to protect her. Seeing Cheeky's serious expression, Ye Yunchang was confused. What's wrong? Is there something wrong with Song Yucheng? You have to trust me, Imperial Sister. He's not good enough for you. He's the Duke's eldest son. He's noble and handsome. How is he not good enough for me? Imperial Sister, think about it. You should be happy. You don't have to give up the entire forest for one tree. Ye Yunchang was confused. The idea was too modern for her. Cheeky continued to brainwash her. I mean, you don't have to give up a group of men for just one man. In the future, I'm going to have many husbands. No ugly, short, fat, or skinny ones, only handsome ones. 10 or 8 is not too few, 50 or 100 is not too many. But won't people say I'm unchaste? Heh, why would they? Look at father, he has so many wives. Does anyone say he's unfaithful? Ye Yunchang's eyes lit up. You have a point. In the future, we'll be 2 happy little freeloaders. And when we want to get married, we'll have father find us the most handsome men in the world. If he can't find any, we'll have 9th uncle find them. And if he can't, there's still 1st brother, 2nd brother, and 6th brother. Thinking about being surrounded by handsome men, the 2 of them couldn't wait to grow up. Just then, the tyrant spoke from the doorway. You're going to grow up to be 2 happy little freeloaders? The 2 of them, who had been lost in their fantasies, snapped back to reality. The tyrant walked over to them, his face dark. And besides being freeloaders, you're also going to have many handsome husbands? Ye Yunchang instinctively tugged on the little girl's sleeve, but Cheeky was even more of a coward and tried to hide behind her. The next second, the little girl was lifted up by the back of her collar.
What did you just say? Say it again for father.
Cheeky burst into tears. Father, Daddy, I was wrong. I'll never do it again. Stop crying, no crying. Tell me what you did wrong. I shouldn't have been talking nonsense with my sister. I shouldn't have just wanted to be a happy little freeloader. I shouldn't have been so boy crazy. Silence, you dare to say that. You're so young, what do you know about being boy crazy? No, I didn't say anything, I don't know anything. Ye Yunchang, standing nearby, didn't dare to breathe. All she could think was, I want to escape. But the next second, the tyrant's gaze fell on her. You, get over here too! It seems I've been too lenient with you all. Today, I'm going to teach you a lesson. Hearing this, Ye Mohan quickly came over to reason with him. Cheeky is still so young. It must have been the older one who led the younger one astray. Just punish Yunchang. My God, 9th uncle, are you even human? The tyrant nodded in agreement. The older one leading the younger one astray, that makes sense. Then you can go kneel over there too and be punished with them. A short while later, the man was sitting in a chair with a cold expression, sipping his tea and occasionally glancing at the group in front of him. A large and two small figures were diligently writing lines. Cheeky was frantically copying from everyone around her. An hour later, Cheeky timidly handed her work to the Tyrant. You call this an inspection? You sure are good at copying. Your handwriting is terrible, and you even copied the name Ye Yun Chang. Ye Mohan was hiding his face and snickering behind them. Forget it, I'm sure you won't do it again. You and Yun Chang can go back to bed now. He then turned to Ye Mohan. You can leave too. What? I wrote for so long and you're not even going to look at it? The Tyrant smiled smugly. I have to go tuck my daughter in. Ye Mohan couldn't take it anymore. Do the ministers in the palace know you've left without permission? I'm sure those scholars will be gossiping again. I'm on an inspection tour. Ye Mohan had to laugh. An inspection tour all the way to Jingfan Temple? Is it because of Cheeky? My business is none of your concern. You just mind your own business. Don't think I don't know you're trying to steal my precious baby. At that moment, Cheeky was pretending to be asleep, afraid the Tyrant would come and continue to scold her. But the Tyrant just smiled when he saw her wrapped up like a little burrito. He said softly, Cheeky, my darling, are you asleep? When there was no response, he continued, You've grown up. You're taller and chubbier than when I first saw you. Hearing this, Cheeky peeked out. Does Cheeky really want many husbands? When you get married, will you have to leave Daddy? Cheeky then realized that the Tyrant had been angry because he was afraid of losing her. The old father got more and more emotional as he spoke and gently hugged the little girl. Does our promise not count anymore? A little head popped out from under the covers. It counts! Even when I grow up and get married, I won't leave you. I'll live in the palace and have you take care of me. You're such a little liar. Then let's pinky swear. Pinky swear for 100 years no changing. The Tyrant finally smiled. The sixth brother bowed to the Tyrant. Your son greets father. The smile on the man's face vanished. Ting Cheng, you're here. Did you come to Jingfan Temple on an inspection tour, father? He felt so tired. Why was everyone so concerned about this? He cleared his throat. Do you need something? If so, just say it. I happened to overhear that Cheeky sent a love letter to someone today. I wonder if it's true. The Tyrant was delighted. Someone else had come to deal with this little girl. Well, Cheeky, you can explain it to your brother. I have some things to take care of. Cheeky couldn't believe it. The father who had just been so sentimental had just abandoned her without a second thought. It was true what they said. You can't rely on men. The sixth brother slowly sat down on the edge of the bed. All right, let's hear your performance. Well, what should I say? You're not going to talk? Cheeky had no choice but to sell out her sister. Actually, I wasn't sending a love letter for myself. It was because my sister has a crush on the Duke's eldest son. Cheeky rambled on and on. Half an hour later, the sixth brother poured her a glass of water. So why are you so sure Song Yucheng is not a good match for her? And you said he has a white moonlight? How do you know so much about him? Cheeky spit out the water she had just drunk. It was one thing after another. He just wouldn't let it go. She couldn't very well say she had read it in a novel before she transmigrated. Could she? And after observing him for a while, it was clear that although he was strange, he was a native of this ancient world. He probably wouldn't believe her. So the little pipsqueak started to spin a tale. I just got a bad feeling from his face. And I heard that the Duke's estate started to decline after he was born, so he must be bad luck. And he's got shifty eyes, a small brain, and not enough oxygen to his brain. Cheeky spewed out a string of 4-character idioms, leaving the sixth brother completely confused. Anyway, he's definitely not right for my sister. Sixth brother, let's work together to break them up. The sixth brother, whose hand was being held by Cheeky, blushed. Fine, I'll help you. Cheeky was surprised he agreed so quickly, and then she realized she was holding his hand. After an awkward silence, he spoke first. Ye Yunchang won't be getting married for a while. We can slowly drive a wedge between them. That's true, she's only 13, so it's still early. Hey, when she's old enough, if she still wants to marry him, we'll just have father-daddy exile him to the border. And how old are you this year? 6? So you're only 6. I thought you were already a grown-up. What? Have you ever seen a grown-up who's only a little over 3 feet tall? If you're not a grown-up, then why are you already thinking about choosing a husband? The little girl instinctively grabbed a pillow and held it in front of her, afraid he was about to hit her. Who told you that? The sixth brother smiled. If I want to know something about you, I can find out any time. Now tell me, how many husbands do you want in the future? Cheeky quickly held up one finger. 1! Just 1! Is that okay? But even after she said it, he was still smiling that creepy smile. Cheeky thought, oh no, he's obsessed with his sister. It seems that answer wasn't good enough. No, I don't want any. I only want you, sixth brother. What What are you talking about? What do you mean you only want me? Cheeky's big eyes blinked. I said I... Silence. Cheeky felt wronged. She hadn't said anything out of line. What was wrong with him now? You're so young. You are not to talk about husbands anymore. You're the one who brought it up, she muttered. He ignored her and put the pillow back on the bed. Then, to her surprise, he lay down and told her to go to sleep. Sixth brother, don't you have your own meditation room to sleep in? Can I have trouble sleeping in a strange bed? I just got used to sleeping here yesterday. I don't want to move. Do you have a problem with that? No, you sleep. Be my guest. Heh. She hugged his arm. I like sleeping with you too. Why do you like it? Because you smell nice. With that, her little hand started to explore his body. What are you doing? Ha-da, this is the smell. Only you have this candy smell. The little pipsqueak was happily munching away, and the young man looked at the little glutton with affection. But the next second, Cheeky suddenly clapped a hand over her mouth in horror. What's wrong? Did you choke? No, it's my tooth. I think it's about to fall out. Cheeky opened her little mouth and obediently let him look. You're at the age where you're losing your baby teeth. You just ate candy, which loosened it. I'll just pull it out for you now. He took out a handkerchief and started wiping his hands. No, it's okay. You don't have to trouble yourself. I'll just wait for it to fall out on its own. Seeing her cute, scared expression, the sixth brother laughed. All right, I won't pull your tooth. Come here, have some candy. Hearing that she could have more candy, the little pipsqueak immediately stopped crying. Yummy, this malt candy is so good. Hurry up and eat. I have more when you're done. Cheeky felt something was off. Hurry up and eat, I have more. That sounded strangely familiar. Sure enough, crack, Cheeky froze. Her little hand flew to her mouth. She spit out the malt candy, along with her tooth. The sixth brother looked triumphant, but Cheeky was in mourning for her lost tooth. A short while later, he took her to the riverbank. When you lose a tooth, you have to throw it in the water so the new one will grow in better. Cheeky closed her eyes and reluctantly threw her tooth into the river. She turned and glared at him. You meanie! You tricked me out of the tooth I've had for 6 years. All right, the new one will grow in soon. It's late, let's go back to bed. Cheeky looked at him under the night sky. He was surprisingly handsome. Oh well, since he was so good-looking, she would forgive him? The next afternoon at the cafeteria, Old Three was teasing the little pipsqueak. I heard you lost a tooth. Not only is your tooth gone, but your secret stash of candy was also confiscated by sixth brother. Seeing Cheeky was unhappy, Daju tried to cheer her up. Little darling Cheeky, guess what I have in my hand? If you guess right, I'll give you both pieces of candy. I guess you have 2 pieces of candy in your hand. Daju scratched his head, looking simple and honest. You're so smart, Cheeky. The little pipsqueak was overjoyed with her candy. What do you have in your hand? Heh. Cheeky held up the malt candy proudly. Daju gave it to me. All confiscated. The sixth brother took the candy from her. You've already lost a tooth and you're still not being careful. You're such a handful. He then took her bowl. Eat this tofu. All the students have to clean the temple today. Finish your food and go to the library. That afternoon, on the 3rd floor of the library, Cheeky and Daju were assigned to a group together. The little girl sighed. My candy is gone, and I still have to do chores. Daju comforted her. I can do it all by myself later. No way, I may be short, but I'm loyal. Who said you're short? Little darling Cheeky is not short at all. He then lifted her onto his shoulders. You're the tallest person when you're on my shoulders, and you can reach the places I can't. Cheeky started to get into it. There's a spider web here, a little to the left, no, to the right, a little more. Stay away from me. A roar came from around the corner. The big and the small peeked around the corner. They peeked out and saw a little girl with a feather duster, stammering as she spoke to the sixth brother. Cheeky said with disgust. I was wondering who it was. Turns out it's this old 6. Little darling Cheeky, should we go say hi? No way. She turned and walked away. He took my candy earlier. The little girl gathered her courage. 6th Prince, I've admired you ever since I was at White Deer Academy. I came all the way to Jingfan Temple just to see you. The sixth brother was completely unfazed by her confession. I've really admired you for a long time. I've been in love with you ever since I first saw you. The sixth brother roughly shook her hand off and smiled wickedly. You say you admire me? Yes. I know I'm not good enough for you, but I would be happy to be just a concubine. Is that so? Then are you sure the person you saw back then was me? Meanwhile, Cheeky had gone back to dusting the bookshelves, and even the clumsy Daju could tell she was angry. Little darling Cheeky, are you unhappy because the 6th Prince was talking to another girl? No, don't say that. What does it have to do with me who he talks to? I'm mad because... What was she mad about? He hadn't really done anything wrong. Oh, whatever, I'm trying to avoid him anyway. Besides, he's not my only brother. Do you have any more candy? Give it all to me, I want candy! But isn't your tooth hurting? Cheeky didn't care and popped a piece in her mouth. I'm just at the age where I'm losing my baby teeth. I'll lose them whether I eat candy or not. Daju had a look of pure confusion. I don't get it, but whatever little darling Cheeky says must be right. You eat this? I'll go get 2 more buckets of water. The little girl was bored by herself, so she started looking around. She suddenly thought, with all these books here, I wonder if there's a military strategy book for 6th brother. What am I thinking? Why am I thinking about that old 6 again? As she shook her head, Cheeky suddenly saw The 4 Kingdoms Art of War. She wanted to get it down, but she couldn't reach it. Just as she was getting frustrated, a hand reached out and took the book down for her. The little girl turned to say thank you, but was greeted by the familiar and annoying face of her 6th brother. She turned her head away in a huff. Isn't he supposed to be flirting with that female classmate? What's he doing here? Little girl, you don't even greet me when you see me now? Are you angry? Cheeky pouted and mumbled, but the 6th brother just smirked. Am I interrupting your anger? Then you should get back to cleaning. Cheeky exploded. He took my candy, tricked me out of my tooth, flirted with a female classmate, and now he's pretending to be nice and get a book for me. After looking at it, he said smugly, Were you getting this book for me? No, I was getting it for someone else. Then who were you getting it for? It's none of your business, as long as it's not for you. Hearing this, the 6th brother threw the book on the floor. Was it for your big Dazugege? In your eyes, he's better than me, right? Well, you have so many brothers anyway. You won't miss one more. Cheeky's heart suddenly clenched. Oh no, he heard what she said earlier. She quickly tried to explain. No, it's not like that. Then what is it like? You won't call me brother. You won't give me the book. You must hate me and want someone else, right? The little girl panicked. No, I don't want anyone else. I only want you, 6th brother. He left her with a think about it and turned and walked away. This made Cheeky think that he was really angry this time. But something felt off. She was the one who was angry first. How did she end up being the one in the wrong? Meanwhile, Old 3 had been punished by the tyrant for writing a love letter and had to copy the palace rules 3 times. She had been copying day and night for 6 days, and her hand was about to fall off. But she was finally done. She was never writing a love letter again in her life. The tyrant gave her a long lecture, which was only interrupted when Zhao Gonggong came in with a box of memorials. Didn't I say I was on an inspection tour? Why are you still bringing me so many memorials? Your Majesty, the Prime Minister said these are all urgent matters, so they were sent by express courier. The tyrant slammed his hand on the table, and old Zhao instinctively dropped to his knees. Where's Yamohan? Get him in here, he stammered. The 9th prince. He went down the mountain early this morning. He said he was going to inspect the common people. He sure has a comfortable life. He's either teasing my daughter or going for a stroll down the mountain. Pass the order, when he comes back today, no one is to open the gate for him. If he tries to climb the wall, break his legs. Father Daddy! Old Zhao was overjoyed his savior had arrived. Cheeky poked her little head in. Are you busy, Daddy? Not at all, not at all. Come here, Cheeky, let Daddy hold you. Why are you here? Have you had dinner yet? I've eaten. I came to discuss something with you. I want to participate in the treasure hunt tomorrow. All the students have to participate, and we have to stay on the back mountain for 2 days and 1 night. But I'm too young, so Chin Taifu said I need your permission. I know about this. Even though it's in pairs, the back mountain is still not safe. Do you really want to go? Cheeky nodded frantically. I really want to. You want to go? Are you sure you're not scared? There are wild beasts and wolves on the back mountain. The little girl puffed out her chest. Scared? I'm your daughter. The tyrant burst out laughing. That's my girl. Yay, yay, so you agree? You've already said so, how can I say no? But you can participate, but you can't push yourself. If you want to come out, just send up a signal, understand? Okay, you can count on me, Father Daddy. After Cheeky left, the tyrant immediately gave an order. Triple the number of secret guards on the back mountain tomorrow. We must ensure her safety. That night, in the meditation room, You're not going, Imperial Sister? No. I've been to Jingfan Temple twice, but I've never participated in that activity. Why not, you don't know? Old 3 mysteriously leaned in close to the little girl's ear. The back mountain is haunted. As she spoke, the 2 little girls burrowed under the covers. Something did happen on that back mountain. I heard that many years ago, the mountain was haunted, so a monk from the temple went to exorcise the ghost. But on the hillside, he met a young woman, and they fell in love. Interrupt! The young woman said she was a hunter's wife and was waiting for her husband to come back and take her home. The monk, seeing that she was a weak woman alone, offered to wait with her, but they waited for 7 days and not a single soul appeared. On the 8th day, the old monk finally couldn't take it anymore and asked the young woman, "We've been waiting for 8 days. Why hasn't your husband come yet?" The woman slowly turned her head and said, "Yes, I've been waiting for 200 years and he still hasn't come." Old 3 was completely unprepared and screamed in terror. The little girl just held up a candle and laughed. I heard that story when I was little. You little pipsqueak, how old do you think you are? You are little right now. Am I? I meant I heard it in my past life. Now we'll draw lots. The two with the same number will be a team. Imperial sister, I'm 26, I'm 13, it seems we'll be separated. Just as Chiki was complaining that Chintaifu didn't even rig the draw for her, someone tapped her from behind. She turned and saw Hejing. Thinking about his delicious barbecue, she got excited again. Are you 26 too? Hejing said excitedly. You and your sixth brother are really fated to be together. He's also number 26. Chiki was speechless. Just then, she saw the sixth brother in the distance, holding the number 26 slip of paper, looking at her calmly. As he walked closer, her heart pounded. Of all the people to be paired with, why did it have to be him? Why haven't you tied your leggings? Why what? What's wrong? Just then, he knelt down. We're going up the mountain soon. You should tie up your clothes so it's easier to move. Chiki was taken aback. Was he not angry anymore? Where's your luggage? My sister has it for me. So she's going to eat your meals for you two. Go get it back. I'll go. As Chiki went to find her sister, she overheard some of the female students whispering. Did you hear? The female student who was cleaning with the sixth prince yesterday went crazy. She said she saw a ghost and was sent back this morning. As Chiki was listening intently, her sister came running over out of breath. You're so short, but you run so fast. I've been looking all over for you. Here's your luggage. Thanks, Imperial sister. Did you hear what they said about the female student who went crazy? What crazy female student? The one who confessed to sixth brother yesterday and was cleaning with him? They said she went crazy? It's nothing, her sister said, patting her shoulder. Your sixth brother doesn't get along with anyone. He probably dressed up as a ghost to scare her. Just then, a ghostly voice came from behind them. It took you this long to get a bag? He took the little girl's bag. Let's go. It's time to go up the mountain. I'm leaving, Imperial sister. Old 3 pointed at him fiercely. You old 6, you better take care of her. Sixth brother, can you slow down? My legs are short, I can't keep up. He looked back at her. Who's your brother? Don't just call anyone that. Oh no, he was still angry. This wasn't good. The little girl cautiously tugged on his sleeve. Don't be mad, sixth brother. I was wrong to say those things yesterday. Then tell me why you said them. Let's hear your excuses. Well, because... Seeing her stammering, he lost his patience. If you don't want to say it, then don't. I won't ask you again. And don't call me brother anymore. Besides, you have so many brothers, you won't miss one more. No, that's not it. I was just angry. You're the only brother I care about. As soon as she finished speaking, he knelt in front of her. Do you know how much those words mean? Chiki nodded. I know. You little girl, you don't know anything. Sometimes I can't tell if you're pretending to be dumb or if you really are. Anyway, I know that you're very important to me, sixth brother. The next second, he picked her up. Don't think a few nice words will make me forgive you. It's not that easy. Chiki was delighted. He was such a stubborn old 6. After walking for a while, he put her down on a big rock. You wait here. I'll go scout ahead and look for food and clues. He then planted a kiss on her forehead. They both blushed. Be good, don't wander off. I'll be back soon. Okay? The little girl swung her short legs contentedly. Had something happened to him? Her eyes fell on the bag next to her, and she suddenly had a bad feeling. He always left his bag behind, and he hadn't come back yet. Was he planning to abandon her and leave her to fend for herself? Just then, she heard a rustling sound in the bushes behind her. Fear, anxiety, all sorts of emotions washed over her. It was over. She was going to be dinner for the wolves. Suddenly, she bumped into something behind her. Chiki's heart skipped a beat. Don't be scared, it's me, a familiar voice said from behind her. Chiki finally burst into tears. You're finally back. I thought you had abandoned me. I thought I was going to be eaten by wolves. Aren't you usually so brave? Besides, there are no wolves here. There are, Chiki pointed domineeringly, but in the bushes was a little rabbit. This, Chiki was a bit embarrassed. He teased her. You weren't even scared when you were kidnapped and sold to the orphanage. How can you be so scared of a rabbit? Shut up, you old 6. I've already found all the clues, and I even caught 2 fish in the river. Good, good. Fish is good for you. It'll make you smarter. You hold the fish and wait here. I'll go get some firewood. No! Chiki's shout echoed through the forest. The two of them then went to get firewood together and started a fire. Sixth brother, what happened with that female student yesterday? What did you hear? Not much, just that she saw a ghost and went crazy. He suddenly grinned mischievously and leaned in close to her ear. What if the ghost she saw was me? Would you be scared? Chiki tried to stay calm. No, if it's you, I'm not scared. I don't like people getting close to me. Whether it's admiration or hostility, I don't like it. It's okay, sixth brother. They're afraid of you, but I like you. Chiki quickly changed the subject. Is the fish cooked yet? I can smell it. He looked at the fish, his mind elsewhere. It's probably cooked. Cheeky happily started to devour the grilled fish. He looked at her with affection, wondering if she had been telling the truth. But even if she wasn't, he was willing to believe it. At the same time, he was glad he hadn't killed her when he had the chance. Slow down, you little glutton. The gentle breeze blew, and after eating her fill, Cheeky leaned against him and peacefully fell asleep. At that moment, he also felt at ease because he had her by his side. The next morning, Cheeky groggily opened her eyes and started looking around for him. Suddenly, she saw him in the bushes not far away. She was about to call his name when a black shadow flashed past. She quickly covered her mouth and rubbed her eyes. What was that? Was she still dreaming? When she looked again, she only saw the sixth brother. Had she been seeing things? Sixth brother, are you alone? Did you see someone else, Cheeky? No? Then maybe my eyes are just getting old. After packing up, he took her deeper into the mountains to continue their search for clues. Just then, a rabbit darted out from the bushes, but it couldn't seem to hop very far. Cheeky then noticed that its leg was tied. Sixth brother, did you tie up this rabbit? Is it a clue marker? Well, the little girl is getting smarter. Hearing this, Cheeky quickly followed the rope on the rabbit's leg and, sure enough, found something unusual next to a tree. She happily explained her findings to him. This dirt has been recently disturbed. Its color is different from the rest. With that, she immediately started to dig in the little garden, and ta-da, she found it. Clue for the treasure hunt. Sixth brother, look! Our Cheeky is so smart, open it and see what it says. The little girl was touched. He could have just taken the clue yesterday, but to make her happy, he had risked someone else finding it, and left a marker for her instead. She opened the slip of paper. It read, when the moon is bright, the stars are few. He analyzed, the sun and moon make bright. Does it mean we should follow the direction of the shadows at sunrise and sunset? The participants in this competition are all kids. It shouldn't be that complicated. I guess it means, when the moon is bright and the stars are few, the crows fly south. The clue is telling us to go south. He was a little surprised. He hadn't expected her to come up with such a reasonable explanation. Without a moment's hesitation, he scooped her up. Clues are hard to come by. Your legs are short and you walk slow. I'll carry you so we can run faster and win first place. But after walking all morning, they only found a strange cave. Sixth brother, should we go in? This place didn't look like it was part of the competition. It could be dangerous inside. Do you want to go in? Cheeky remembered the brave words she had spoken to the Tyrant, puffing out her little chest. I'm not scared. I'm Father Daddy's daughter. The little girl clenched her fists and shouted, I'm not a coward. I want to go in. All right, then today I will risk my life for you. As soon as they entered the cave, they saw lit torches on the walls. It seemed someone had already been here. He took a torch and led her deeper into the cave. But neither of them noticed that they were being watched. Swoosh! A figure appeared behind Cheeky. Before she could even call out to him, she was struck on the back of the neck. She stumbled forward, dizzy. The last thing she saw was him rushing toward her. The little girl was unconscious for a long time. When she woke up again, she was in a completely unfamiliar place. Looking at her tied hands, she thought, going on? I've been kidnapped again? And looking around, she saw she wasn't the only one. Just then, she heard the sound of several rough men drinking and celebrating in front of her. From the way they were dressed, she guessed they were bandits who were after money. Suddenly, she remembered something. Where was the sixth brother? The next second, her mouth was covered. Quickly put a finger to his lip. Then he deftly untied her ropes. These little dolls are from rich families. We'll be able to get a hefty ransom from them. Then we can buy 5, 6, 7, 8 wives. Cheeky whispered. Let's stay put for now and see how many of them there are. By the way, how did you untie your ropes? He sneered. I was never caught by them, you fool. If you escaped, why did you come back? What do you think? Why would I come back? Cheeky was a bit embarrassed. He probably thought I was too dumb to escape on my own. Just then, one of the rough men noticed she was awake. Oh no, they'd been discovered. She quickly whispered for him to run, but when she glanced over, he was already gone. Who are you talking to? Did you sleep so hard you're talking to yourself? Seeing the ferocious-looking man, Cheeky trembled. What do you want? I don't have any money, and I'm not giving you my life. I don't have anything to say to a little doll like you. Just eat up and wait here. He tossed a bun to her. I'm not going to do anything to you. As long as your family pays the ransom, everything will be fine. But if they don't have any money, then you can just wait to be sold. Hearing this, the little girl instinctively shrank back. After he spoke, the man went back to drinking. Just then, Cheeky looked at the soft bun in her hand and felt something was off. Is there something wrong with the bun? This bun is hot and soft. It's completely different from the dry one I had last time I was kidnapped. It's like it was specially prepared. The area around the treasure hunt had been secured by the Imperial Guards. But these bandits were not only able to bring in fresh meat and buns, but they were also able to do so without being discovered by the guards. Wasn't that strange? Could this be a test? He suddenly grinned wickedly. In that case, you just follow my lead, okay? Later, you do this and I'll do that, okay? The next second, Cheeky clutched her stomach and started to cry out, "My stomach hurts!" The big man reluctantly walked over to her. "What's wrong with you now? How does it hurt? Is it bad?" "It's just rumbling and gurgling," Cheeky deliberately mumbled. The big man, who couldn't hear her, knelt and leaned in close. "Say that again?" "Don't move if you want to live," the sixth brother said coldly. But the big man ignored him and quickly grabbed his arm. "Crap, this guy looks big, but he's also strong." The sixth brother decisively dropped the dagger. He quickly chopped at the big man's face with his other hand. The big man's brain hadn't even processed the swift attack, but his body reacted instinctively and he blocked it. Just then, the sixth brother sneered and pulled his hand back. "What? Bandits these days know the Imperial Guard's moves?" The big man then realized that he had been testing him. He had been careless. "You must have brought the students here as part of the treasure hunt. Give us the map to get out." The big man awkwardly tried to change the subject. "As expected of the sixth prince? What a talented young man. Cut the flattery and give me the map." "I'm just a small fry, I don't have the map." "Then which big fry has it?" The big man suddenly started to play dumb. "I've already been discovered by you. I'm a dead man, and dead men don't talk." Just then, the sixth brother picked up the rope on the ground. "It's no use tying me up, I'm not talking." Seeing that the big man was uncooperative, the little girl started to look around the cave and finally her eyes landed on the rabbit in the cage. Wasn't that the rabbit he had used as a clue marker before? So the rabbit was part of their plan too. "Mister, do you like rabbits too?" The big man nodded. "Yeah, why?" Cheeky suddenly had a wicked look on her face. "Heh heh heh, then I'm going to have to pet it. Hard." The big man suddenly had a bad feeling. "You, be gentle." "Oh, you're so cute, little rabbit. If you don't give me the map, I'll strangle it right now and make spicy rabbit heads." Hearing this, both the sixth brother and the big man tensed up. "You're so cruel. Rabbits are so cute. How can you eat a rabbit?" She started to count down. 3, 2, wait, I'll give you the map. Just let him go. Let the rabbit go. Deal. 1 hand for the map, 1 hand for the rabbit. After getting the map, Cheeky put the terrified rabbit back in its cage. The sixth brother quickly started to memorize the route. Just before they left, the little girl gave the spicy rabbit head a wicked look. He teased her, "If you like it so much, you can take it with you." "Nah, it's not nice to take what someone else likes." "You're being so righteous now." "Well, it's because you taught me well, sixth brother. Besides, I wasn't really going to strangle the rabbit. I was just scaring him." Before long, the two of them had left the cave. "This time you saved me, Cheeky. You did a good job." "Heh heh. I'll always protect you, sixth brother. Who needs a little girl to protect them?" He suddenly ran off, embarrassed, leaving Cheeky completely confused. The two of them then walked to a river and decided to spend the night there. "I'll go find some fruit. You stay here by the fire and don't go in the water. You hear me?" "Why? You're getting fruit so I can go in the water and catch fish." "You? With your little body, are you going to catch the fish? Or is the fish going to catch you? Who are you looking down on?" With that, Cheeky rolled up her sleeves. "Look at these muscles, they're solid." "You call those muscles? Look at yourself. You're like a little sprout. Anyway, you remember what I said. Don't go in the water. Do you understand human language?" "I understand." Cheeky nodded. "No, you have to swear. I swear I'll be exactly as I am when you get back as I was when you left." Only then did he leave, feeling at ease. But as soon as he was gone, the little girl looked at the river with a wicked expression. A short while later, the sky started to get dark. When he came back with the fruit, the first thing he did was question her. "Did you go in the water?" Cheeky's eyes darted around nervously. I didn't. I haven't moved an inch." "Hold out your hand." "My hand? What about my hand?" "There's nothing wrong with my hand." He didn't say anything more. He put down the fruit. He sat down next to her with a serious expression. The little girl sighed. It seemed she couldn't fool him. She pitifully held out her little finger, with a crab still attached to it. "Sixth brother, if I told you it ran ashore and pinched my finger all by itself, would you believe me?" "What do you think? I was wrong. I lied. I went in the river and I got pinched by a crab." "Give me your hand." His face was terrifyingly dark. Cheeky timidly held out her hand, crab and all. He pinched the crab's belly with 2 fingers and squeezed, and the crab finally released its claw. The whole time, he didn't say a word. Cheeky knew he was really angry, so she quickly started to act cute. "I was wrong. I'll be good from now on. Don't be mad, sixth brother." He coldly shook her hand off. "You can eat the fruit yourself. After you're done, go to sleep. I'll keep watch." With that, He went to lie down in a tree by himself, sulking, and planning to teach the little girl a lesson by ignoring her all night. In the middle of the night, the campfire crackled. The sleeping little girl suddenly started to whimper, covered in sweat. "Sixth brother, it hurts. It hurts so much." He immediately jumped down and rushed to her side. "What's wrong? Where does it hurt?" Cheeky clutched her stomach. "Here. It hurts here. Don't move, let me see." He gently pressed on her stomach. "Is it here or here?" Just then, he suddenly saw her wet little shoes and guessed the cause of her pain. He took off her shoes and started to rub her little feet with his warm hands. "The water is still cold in April. You went in the water and caught a chill. Of course your stomach hurts." Cheeky shyly buried her head in the blanket. "You're hiding now? Weren't you so happy when you were catching crabs earlier?" The little girl started to cry. "I was wrong. If it didn't hurt, you wouldn't learn your lesson. Just bear with it." "I'm sorry, sixth brother. I'm holding you back." The little girl suddenly moved closer to him, and the young man's face turned red as he looked away. "What do you mean, holding me back? You could have easily gotten out of this mountain by yourself. But now, because of me, you probably won't get first place." Hearing this, the young man smiled and stopped what he was doing. "Is getting first place that important? Isn't it? You came to this competition. Don't you want to be first? There are all kinds of roles in the world. If you only focus on moving forward, you'll miss the beauty right in front of you. And for me, what's in front of me is much more important than getting first place." "Little girl, look!" The sun was slowly rising from behind the mountains, and the morning light was spreading across the land, warming their bodies and souls. "Thank you, sixth brother. Thank me for what?" "Thank you for trusting me. Thank you for always being with me. And thank you for—" "You don't have to say it, I understand." Meanwhile, old 3, Dazu, and the others had already reached the finish line. "Strange, why isn't little darling Cheeky back yet?" "Speak of the devil." As soon as she finished speaking, she turned and saw Cheeky and her sixth brother. "Cheeky, my darling, you're finally out," old 3 said, standing up with Heejing's help. "Imperial sister, what happened to your leg? Did you get bitten by a wild beast? Is it broken? Is it serious?" Cheeky was very worried. Old 3 looked at Heejing awkwardly. "You tell her." "Well, when we were kidnapped, those big guys were going to hit me because I was talking too much. Then the third princess stood up for me and took down 3 of them with a flurry of kicks." "What?" Cheeky was shocked. "She kicked so hard she broke her leg?" "No, no!" Heejing quickly waved his hands. "Her leg? When we were leaving the cave, she was so excited that she didn't see the rock in front of her and tripped and twisted her ankle." "You brat! I only told you to tell the first part. Who told you to tell the second part? I'm going to beat you up." Sixth brother, I feel like their relationship has changed. It seems they've been through a lot in the last 2 days. This is a good way to distract Ye Yunchang, isn't it? Just then, Chin Taifu came over from the distance. "Congratulations! Your 3 teams are the top 3 in this competition." Most of the students were wiped out in the kidnapping round. "The 6 of you are brave and resourceful, a model for us all. As a reward, you will have a 1-day trip to the Lantern Festival. Here are your passes and travel money. You must be back at Jingfan Temple before morning class tomorrow. Yay! We get to go out and play." The streets below the mountain were bustling with people. "I've already done my research. The market town at the foot of Jingfan Temple has no curfew and is the most prosperous. Tell us, what's good to eat?" "Spicy rabbit heads, of course. We have to eat our fill today. Let's go, let's eat until we're sick of it." "Imperial sister, are you sure your foot is okay? Do you want me to help you? It's fine, it was never a big deal, it was just Heejing being a worrywart." "Ahem." Cheeky had a mischievous look on her face. "Imperial sister, I can see what's going on between you two. He's not just a little friend to you." "No, there's nothing going on. He and I are, at most, like a big brother and a little brother. I could never like him." "Oh, really? I never said you like him." Oh no, she'd been tricked. You little girl, I don't know what you're talking about. Let's go or we'll miss the rabbit heads." But just then, Heijing, who had just come back from buying something, saw her flustered expression. "Why is your face so red? Are you sick? Is it hot? Let me fan you. Are you hungry? Are you thirsty? I brought a water bottle." "Get lost." Faced with his barrage of questions, the flustered old 3 just kicked him. "Okay, third princess. Call me if you need anything." Heejing's path to winning her heart was long and arduous. The sudden appearance of the 6th brother startled Cheeky. "Little girl, I'm a little tired. I'm going back to sleep. You guys go on without me. You're not coming with us to eat spicy rabbit heads?" "No," he waved. "Goodbye. See you at the temple." A short while later, in a private room at a restaurant, Heejing was diligently putting food in Ye Yunchang's bowl, while the little girl was slumped over, looking listless. "Why aren't you eating? Weren't you the one who wanted spicy rabbit heads?" "I don't know why, but I suddenly don't have an appetite." "Really? Is it because a certain someone didn't come?" Cheeky shot up. No, it's not because of sixth brother. Did I say it was because of him? What? What did you say? I said this rabbit head is delicious. It is pretty good. Cheeky quickly changed the subject and shoved a rabbit head in her sister's mouth. Eat up, eat up. After we're done, let's go check out Father Daddy's private residence here. Father's not here today. Something came up at court, so we had to go back. Cheeky was confused. How do you know? Here, she pointed at Heijing, who was pouring tea. My father told me. I think there's a big ceremony at the Ministry of Rights after the new year. That's why His Majesty went back. So that's it. Cheeky thought. It seems I was worrying for nothing. If Father's not here, where are you going to go? Then I'll go to Ninth Uncle's private residence. He's so idle, he must be free. Old 3 shook her head. I'm not going. He doesn't like me anyway. I'll just go shopping by myself. Okay then. We'll meet back at the temple tonight. Cheeky went to Yemohan's courtyard. The old butler brought her to a pavilion to wait and thoughtfully poured her a cup of hot tea. The little girl drank her tea and looked around. Suddenly, she heard what sounded like someone talking behind the rockery. Who was it? Was her uncle entertaining a guest? She tiptoed over to the rockery. I understand. Please rest assured, Your Highness. Your Highness? What prince? Why would a prince be here? And that man in black looked familiar. He seemed to be the same person who had disappeared so suddenly when she woke up on the mountain. She pressed her ear against the rock, trying to hear their conversation, but the voices suddenly stopped. Then, a dark shadow fell over her and a hand landed on her shoulder. The little girl looked up and saw the sixth brother's cold face. Sixth brother, what are you doing here? What did you see? Hey, the man in black? Sixth brother, what are you doing here too? Didn't you say you were tired and going back to sleep? Why do you always manage to be wherever there's trouble? It's just... Cheeky laughed and finished his sentence. It's just a damn coincidence. Silence. Cheeky quickly added, no matter what I saw, I will never say a word. We're allies. I won't betray you. He sneered. Allies? Cheeky nodded vigorously. Yes, I'm always on your team. So no matter what I do, no matter who I am, you'll stand with me? Even if I have to harm the people you care about, even if I have to destroy the peaceful life you cherish, you'll still help me. Cheeky pushed him away in disbelief, her body trembling. She didn't know if he was telling the truth. She was scared. What was he planning? And who was he going to harm? She didn't know what he was planning to do, so she ran away. And he didn't chase her. He thought that maybe it would be safer for her if she stayed away from him. That way, even if he failed in the future, she could still be the noble little princess, and she wouldn't be implicated because of him. Meanwhile, Cheeky was still running. She didn't know if he was really who he said he was. Why was he so hot and cold? Sometimes friendly, sometimes sinister. Or did he have a split personality? Or was he really plotting something and deliberately pushing her away so she wouldn't get hurt? As she was running, she suddenly bumped into something. Cheeky cried, holding her head. Why are you running so fast with your head down? Cheeky looked up and saw her ninth uncle. Look at you, you're all sweaty. Let me wipe your forehead. You've been waiting for a long time, haven't you? Have you eaten yet? I've eaten. She then took a bag out of her clothes. Ta-da! I brought you spicy rabbit heads. Yemohan's heart melted. Nanan is so good. I heard you got top 3 in the treasure hunt. Let's go celebrate. We'll have a great time on the streets. As they were leaving, the little girl peeked back. In the forest, a lonely figure was still standing there. On the street, Uncle, that one, and that one. Cheeky happily went on a shopping spree and was finally drawn to a ring-toss stall with all sorts of little trinkets. Uncle, I want to play this. Hearing this, Yemohan took out a gold ingot and bought out the whole stall. I'll take all your rings. Go on, they're all yours. Yay, Uncle is the best. The next second, she held her breath, aimed, and then threw 27 rings in a row with incredible style. But she didn't win a single thing. Seeing her disappointed face, Yemohan suggested, how about I give it a try? Okay. Uncle, I want that little doll. Yemohan's movements were also very smooth. He stared at the little doll, his throw a perfect balance of strength and gentleness. Swoosh! He decisively threw the ring at the doll. However, after he had thrown 91 rings, he still hadn't won anything. The stall owner was delighted. This was the first time he had met a rich man who couldn't hit a single thing. But the big and the small were not discouraged. They stubbornly kept throwing, and only stopped when the box of rings was almost empty. By then, they were both panting like dogs. Just then, a hand reached out from behind, took the ring from the little girl's hand, and then, reaching over her head, threw it out. Clang! It landed perfectly on the roly-poly toy. Well, tell me, which one do you want now? The little girl was completely taken aback. What was going on in his head? She looked at Yemohan, at a loss. What are you looking at me for, Nanan? Your sixth brother is talking to you. Cheeky cautiously pointed in front of her. Can I have that one? She was pointing at a rattle drum. The sixth brother then unhesitatingly took 3 rings in his hand at the same time. The stall owner started to get excited again. This was a steady stream of money, but he confidently threw all 3 rings out at the same time. Clang, clang, clang! All 3 rings landed on 3 different trinkets. The stall owner was stunned. What else do you want? Tell me. Cheeky was also stunned. She hadn't known he had this skill. Your sixth brother has always been bad at archery and horseback riding, but at some point he suddenly got good at it, like he was a different person. He never misses, like he was a different person. Cheeky was still muttering to herself when he suddenly pulled her over. Uncle, if you don't have anything else to do, you can leave now. I'm enough to keep Cheeky company. It's not convenient for an adult to be here when we're playing. Yamohan was speechless. Fine, I'll go back. You two have fun and come back to the temple early. But in his heart, he made a mental note. You dare to kick me out? Little six, you just wait. Cheeky watched him leave, feeling a little guilty. It seemed her 9th uncle was a little angry. But old six didn't care. He forcibly turned her around. Stop looking at him. I'll teach you how to play ring toss. He then put his arm around her waist. He held her hand. Concentrate, aim. Then he threw the ring. Wow, I really got it. The little girl was as happy as could be. As the sun set, the 2 of them walked back to the temple with their arms full of prizes. The stall owner looked at his empty stall and burst into tears. My fake antiques! The pouch my wife embroidered! As he cried, his sadness turned to anger. 2 little kids dare to ruin my business. Do they think I'm a pushover? Boys, go teach those 2 little brats a lesson.